It's the final episode of Ryusoulger, everyone. Thank fuck.
Oh, come on.
Was it good?
Yes!
Was it bad?
Start the intro!
No.
Start the intro. It was good. Final call. It was really good. Start the roll call.
Oh, God.
Start the roll call.
It's cue the roll call. Oh, crap, no.
She said it! It's good. Cue the roll call.
We are live!
Connect. Loading. Broadcast.
Tempered Zeal! Bluecaster, Super Ichi!
Loud and impulsive. Greycaster, late.
Illuminating the Tokuverse. Yellowcaster, Autoguard.
A spark of courage, the power of dreams. Orange caster, global soft perka.
Quick on the draw and draw on the quick. Red caster, Savage Fox.
Broadcasting hundreds of opinions across the world!
Radio Sentai Castranger.
Welcome to episode 283 of Radio Sentai Castranger.
Episode Thursday.
Anniversary. Yay.
We'll celebrate our anniversary next week's episode.
So,
Gar, you have a week to think of an idea for our anniversary.
let me state in no uncertain terms what's happening. The day this recording goes out, which is Monday, March 9th, is in fact the anniversary of Radio Sentai Castranger. Episode 1 aired March 9th, 2014.
In which, holy shit, for the first fucking time ever, I'm actually here for an anniversary episode.
So,
Have you guys never noticed how I'm always gone for the anniversary?
That's your fault.
No.
That sounds like a Gar problem.
No, that's karma. Bite me in the ass.
It's Garma.
so because we created this show around the time that Tokuger had started airing, I like to consider each Sentai / Year of Castranger as our own seasons. So technically what's happening here is, as we are reaching our 6th anniversary, this is the end of Season 6 of Castranger, which means next week will be the start of Season 7. So for those who are keeping track.
It's episode Surskip.
So when you join in, when people join in, is that your year? Am I the Ryusoulger year?
Sure.
All right.
Well,
Yeah,
wouldn't you be
yeah,
the
yeah,
year you
you're
first
right.
No, I did the math.
Because I'm just thinking, I'm like, hang on, we're going on. It's our 3rd year anniversary of Ultra Ranger this year, and we're going on to our 4th season. So, yeah, because after the anniversary episode, I consider that like the start of the new season.
Yes. So for those who might be listening to us for the first time, wow, did you pick a weird episode to jump on?
Hey, you were, remember when Tokuger ended and you were like, hey, do you want to be on? And I'm like, I haven't caught up on Drive, so I'm sorry. No. That was legit.
It was all you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Borb!
What?
I forgot about Borb.
Oh, yeah, Borb.
What?
Borb.
Borb.
Where's Borb?
I don't know what's happening.
Borb.
I don't know what's happening either.
Keep going while I find Borb.
Okay, so for those who might be listening to us for the first time, thank you for tuning in. We are a loosely associated clique of tokusatsu nerds who assemble every week to talk about Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and usually a third thing.
That's
However-
not Ultraman.
However, this week being a special episode because Ryusoulger is coming to an end, it is our tradition to forego a feature topic, and instead our third thing this week will be a discussion of Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger as a whole in a retrospective, reflective summary. Recap.
All we need is Borb.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've seen that. Every time I see that, I respond with Type Borb!
You know what? Fuck that.
Because my friend was drawing that while live streaming, and I'm like, all we need is Borb. And she's like, is that a Drive reference? I'm like, yes. So she immediately starts drawing the tire.
Then you just crank the thing. Borb! Borb! Borb!
Borb, Borb, Borb! Borb, Borb, Borb!
Alright, so, aside from our Ryusoulger retrospective, our topics for this week are Kamen Rider Zero-One, episode 25, and, of course, the finale of Ryusoulger, episode 48.
What an odd episode to end on.
What an odd series.
Was it good? Was it
We'll
bad?
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get
Spoilers. It was good.
But first, before we get into that, don't forget to use our Skip the Dishes code in the description for $5 off your first order.
And if you use it now, you can get avocado toast, which will cheer you up from not getting the part of the cute jock in the new teen drama.
I noticed that
you did. There's the image you asked for.
I noticed you didn't refer to us as a gaggle.
Yeah, because you hate that for some reason.
No, I don't hate it. The person I was saying that to hated it.
Well, tell them to leave a comment and maybe I'll give a shit.
Oh, snap.
Maybe you can bring his gaggle of friends and...
Then we'll have a gaggle off.
Yeah, we'll have a gaggle all the time.
You know my favorite pop singer is? Lady Gaggle.
Oh, speaking of which,
does that mean Emily is our Lady Gaggle because she's part of our gaggle?
Did you guys hear about Lady Gaga and that Power Ranger music video she did?
No.
I heard something about
it. It was like a Power Ranger style music video. It was weird.
Joy.
Also, Supergirl's pregnant.
Cool.
Oh, congratulations.
Is she super pregnant?
Not yet.
Not yet? What does that mean?
She just got pregnant.
I guess that depends on what you'd qualify as a super pregnancy.
Am I pregnant?
I was about to say, as long as she's not pregnant. Out of all that whole bit, Pregnant is my favorite, and that is my headcanon name for like fictional male pregnancy, like Dilbert and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Whenever men are quote-unquote pregnant, I just call it Pregnant.
Oh, like Cosmo from Fairly OddParents?
I didn't see that episode, so I'm going to say yes.
If women have starch masks on their body, does that mean she has been pregnant before?
A Luigi board?
If I have sex with pregnant, will it hit baby top of head?
Yes. No, it's have sex with prangent woman.
Prangent.
This has gone off the rails already. Let's fucking do the Zero-One thing.
Zero-One.
Pregnant.
/riser, you'll get caught up in the /riser.
Crossfire joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crossfire. Yeah. I decided, because we're starting sort of a new arc of Zero-One, that I would ask an AI, appropriately for Zero-One, what they think that the next arc is going to be about. So I typed in, the next arc of Kamen Rider Zero-One will be about, and saw what it would fill in. And I went, pretty much every answer was amazing, but this is probably the best one I got. Sorry if this is wasting time.
Oh, go ahead.
The next arc of Kamen Rider Zero-One will be about Kyrie, the main character of the first Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider 1 was on the air for 4 years, but it's such an ideal series, where it has all the standard modern stuff, that it's easy to overlook and say, oh, it's a shoujo ai. But now, it is a shoujo ai, and a hard one to come to grips with. The main character's relationship with his younger sister and how this develops are in this latest anime. So now everything from that situation to the main character meeting his crush have been transferred to this new series.
Oh, so this is one of those AI that writes stories?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's apparently Kamen Rider Zero-One is going to be about incestual lesbians. However,
that'll raise the ratings.
Here's another thing that I came up with. The next arc of Kamen Rider Zero-One will be about Gaim, the giant lolly magnet who's infected with a virus.
You know what? That wouldn't be very off.
Oh my.
If Izu goes nuts like we all know she will at some point.
Izu's endgame.
Yeah.
Up there, just Izu. That's endgame.
And then there's the might actually happen category with the next arc of Kamen Rider Zero-One will be about the destruction of human civilization.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely what they're going for.
But I'm still wondering if it will have that suddenly be about girls' love and also apparently people's feelings for their younger sister.
I love what Decker posted here. Jin is now Mafia boss.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love that. I love that meme.
So yeah, Jin is back.
Guess who's back?
Proving
Jin is back.
No, just Jin is
Bring
back.
a friend.
Proving that this writer doesn't fucking know how to keep characters dead.
Well, it's a robot.
It's a robot.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe, Gar, did you ever maybe think that this writer he just doesn't like killing off characters that people love.
Well, maybe
he should work for Star Trek Picard.
No, I'm just saying, if he hates killing off characters, then why kill them off in the first place?
Drama.
Cheap writing stakes.
Anyways, here's the Naruto Face of the Week. It's a more serious one because I thought Naruto looked really badass in this
That's
shot.
not a clenching fist.
He's clenching the belt.
But have you noticed that, like,
Yes.
Gancorp and Overtime both use the same image?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Arthur Fist.
The Arthur Fist meme. Yeah, amazing.
I told
you wanna mention real quick why what he's saying in that line is particularly important?
Oh yeah, so this was the first time in this show where Naruto refers to himself as Kamen Rider Zero-One, because he hasn't before. He's just called himself Zero-One.
Wait. It took them halfway through the show to finally acknowledge...
Not acknowledge Kamen Riders, but Naruto acknowledging himself as Kamen Rider Zero-One.
Like he truly is a Kamen Rider.
The others have called themselves Kamen Riders, but Naruto has never called Zero-One Kamen Rider until now.
Okay, because I was about to be scared there, being like, wait, is this like Gaim where they don't acknowledge...
No. I mean, look at fucking the Shot Riser. When it's in standby form, it says Kamen Rider.
Hell, when Yua was filming him, it's like, oh, Kamen Rider Vulcan.
Kamen Rider Vulcan.
See, I don't pay attention to Kamen Rider anymore.
That's why we're here. We all pay attention to different things.
I like banana.
Go banana.
Go banana.
Anyway, our episode opens with a blatantly, almost insultingly blatant ripoff of fucking Einstein with this robot doctor.
Yeah.
Hakase Bot.
So apparently he was the first gen human gear that
built other human gears.
Specifically, dun dun dun, Horby.
Who was meant to be a father robot.
Like a surrogate father.
An early education / surrogate father robot, which makes sense because he went on to build Jin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Donut.
I want chicken between two donuts.
Donuts. At the big donuts. They make the world go round.
I had that, but with like a hamburger patty, and it was fucking.
I just
need you to know, Gar, that I actually threw up in my mouth just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I just want to see Horby before he became a freaking cyber terrorist. And
no, we saw him get printed.
No. But I mean, like, I want to see him with like a kid.
We saw him
handing
naked.
like a sad kid like an ice cream cone and patting him on the head, going, "It's okay. You are a good boy."
Who's gonna grow up and overthrow humanity?
Who's gonna destroy humanity? Oh, no! Get the Yugi out of here!
No. Yu-Gi-On.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Anyway.
God damn it!
It's hilarious that they finally added Metal Cluster to the fucking opening, the episode after his whole Berserk plot arc resolved.
Yes, because now he's fully in the show, so now we can put him in the opening.
Fully in the show. You know who's not fully in the show anymore? Fucking Thouser.
Yeah, no.
This was the first episode since Thouser debuted that he wasn't in!
No, it's funny too because, like, the show is even aware of itself that Thouser was in the episode because, like, they go off to go do something and, like, Yua's just like, aren't you going to join them? And Thouser's like, nah, I'm good. I was like, wow, he's too good to be involved in the plot.
I refuse to participate in this clip show.
Well, Thouser, we have good news and we have bad news. Well, what's the good news? Well, the good news is that we're going to continue the show. Oh, thank goodness. Bad news is you're not going to be in the next episode. What?
You had things to do. It's fine. I didn't even want to be in it.
You are unfortunately.
You don't have to look at me anymore.
No, you are unfortunately obsolete because we have these new forms coming out. But I'm the main antagonist at this moment. Yeah, but sorry.
No, the real antagonist is the insurmountable amount of plot we have to drop and recap.
They're going to say the friends we met along the way.
I was actually thinking that.
Also that. No, as we saw from last week's episode, the friends we made along the way is what solves the problem.
Maybe.
Actually, yeah, that was literally what happened last week.
Right? We had you catch up right before we started recording, so what did you think of last week's episode?
It was okay.
I felt it had some very powerful moments.
I like that it had nothing to do with the fucking competition.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they've got, like, I was like, it's okay. I don't know. I'm not hating it as much because those were some good plot episodes, but I mean, like, I don't know. I just like the newest episode. I thought was fine, but like, and then it's like next week firefighting competition.
So what I really enjoyed about this episode the most was specifically Fua, because like, so he realizes that like. Apparently, he because since Ames is like an offshoot of Zaya, like Zaya.
Or rather, they're supplied by Zaya.
Yeah, well, no, and Ames was created by Zaya to fight Metsubojinrai.net.
No, didn't they?
No. They said that Ames was created by Zaya.
I could have swore they said Ames was a government agency and that they were just funded with equipment by Zaya.
No. Zaya created Ames. They created Ames.
Well, then fuck.
He created Ames for the government to use.
Huh.
Yeah. So, anyways, when like we find that out, like Fu is really pissed off, and then he just has a real kind of like development moment with himself where he just says, "I refuse to be a tool for Zaya. I make my own rules. I fight the way I want to. That is what Kamen Rider Vulcan is.
I'd fight for my friends, but I don't have any."
That's actually interesting.
About the friends that I haven't made along the way.
Like, Vulcan, Zero-One, and Jin all have, like, their reason why they are
They're
a Kamen Rider.
Riders.
Yeah.
I actually really
I think we
like
have
that.
to bring up that we had a part where Aruto made a really terrible joke while Fua was in the office.
Oh, yeah.
And Fua, like, tackled him, but then you see that he's just trying to not crack up.
Oh, yeah. I'm props to him for keeping up the charade, but I do hope we eventually get a payoff to that.
I think we
The
will.
last episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Chekhov's laugh.
Next episode.
Yeah, so we got some interesting plots about, like, the ARC satellite and their satellite.
It was basically a recap of everything we had known and predicted over the series, but it being explained to Aruto so that he knows everything that happened.
But we also found out that Aruto's robot dad created the Zero-One driver.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that the grandfather created the system, it's just
He
that
just handed it off.
he handed it off to Aruto because he knew that it would be safe in his hands.
What with Robot Dad being the deads.
So I wish we could have gotten like a daydream vision, thing of like the vice president like being Zero-One, just like him with the belt.
Oh my god.
That would have been funny.
You know what? That sounds like a hyper battle video.
Yeah.
It does.
It should be like Project Bowser or something. He's like, I should have been Zero-One. I could do it.
Or he just like steals files and makes his own Kamen Rider Zero-2.
You know what? I would actually like to see the vice president just like fucking try to yoink the belt and he uses it and then it just goes air rise.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, and then we just got more like about the arc and Gary knew the guy fucking made it.
They basically summarize how Guy, while working for Zaya, created the Ark, supplied it with evil data of all of the evil shit humanity has done, and that caused the Ark to go batshit and create Metsubojinrai, which then in turn caused the other Humanmakers to go berserk.
And then Robot Dad blew up Ark.
Yeah, so it was his robot dad, Hiden Soren, I think was his name, who actually initiated the Ark's destruction and broke Daybreak Town.
So he did a lot.
Yeah. I like that this joke may not have been obvious to everyone, but the Dr. Robot, whenever he was talking, he was using the washi pronoun, which at first glance is not that shocking because that's a pronoun that old men tend to use for themselves a lot in anime I've seen. But the joke is he was under control by Jin, who is an eagle, and the Japanese word for eagle is washi.
Washi, oh my god,
And
you're right.
Izu even makes note that he says washi? But yeah, we eventually come to the re-arrival of Jin, aka Kamen Rider Jin Burning Falcon in his new form.
Giant
AKA
wings that then
Dark
vanish
Phoenix.
after you see them the
Yeah.
first time.
Burning Falcon looks great in action.
Unfortunately, we don't get the henshin or an explanation of actually how he came back, or how he has a new driver, or where that driver came from.
It'll be explained
We'll
next
find
episode.
that out, won't we?
I hope so.
The newest episode coming out, we'll find out.
But I gotta say, that new suit he's styling in is so good.
The wings are really
If I were
cool.
to make a parody of like a Kamen Rider, just new form shows up halfway through the episode, the other guy just demorphs. It's like, hold on, time out. What's this? This wasn't in the script.
But yeah, Emily, I meant his actual suit, not his form.
Oh, okay, sorry.
His like tuxedo suit.
Yeah.
He looked absolutely amazing in that outfit. I was thinking just like, wow, he really like Jin was like he was just sort of a hoodie man before, and now
he cleans up nicely.
Yeah, he's all like
he robbed a fashion store on his way here.
He robbed half a fashion store. Let's be honest.
Gear guy, gear eye for the Huma gear guy.
I'm sure there's a fashion Huma gear out there.
There has to be.
Yeah.
We also got a cool henshin like shot of Vulcan and Zero-One into their assault forms, and what's cool was that like Vulcan was in the front, and then like Aruto was off to the side because it was like what were you saying, Ichi?
It was to symbolize how they may have differing motivations, but they're both headed towards the same goal.
Yeah,
sort of.
Mm-hmm. And then we got like Aruto like preparing a Hisatsu with the gun caliber or whatever.
The buster.
The authorized buster, and he like throws it to fucking Fua.
It's like, here, I readied it for you. That was a neat move. I like this teamwork that's sort of blossoming between them.
Yeah, and then Naruto proceeds to go middle cluster hopper and just like wreck shit, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that suit. Getting my key soon, can't wait.
He does the final strash, which just like rains spikes down, and that was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, my favorite thing about Burning Falcon, as stupid as it is to say, is when he unhenshins. Because then you just see the fucking red claws just like snap around him.
Yeah, it was kind of like an opposite of when he henshins into original Jin, like
when he was just like a ball of fire with eyes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will say, I talked about this briefly when we looked at the magazine scans last week. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of Burning Falcon's form. My biggest problem is still the fact that they took out the bird head from the helmet. I still think they could have just kept that head there and just made it angrier and on fire.
Wait, was that not the bird?
Nope.
Like you were mentioning something about how like the design was different.
Look at Kamen Rider Jin's helmet and then look at Burning Falcon's helmet. The original model has this little bird head on the atop the visor, and Burning Falcon doesn't have it.
What about the body? Like I could have sworn I've seen that body somewhere before.
It's a remake of Vulcan's base form because it's also a Shot Riser base suit. It's basically Kamen Rider Vulcan with more points on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some fan art someone posted of if Burning Falcon was pink like his base form.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that a lot. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I want that. That's actually really nice.
That's neat.
Wow.
I still like the bird head on the original helmet better. Yeah. Let's see. So Jin flies in amidst a sea of flame, shit kicks Vulcan, unhenshins, goes, I don't need to hide shit anymore, and takes off in a burst of flame. He reveals that he was controlling the doctor and who snuck in the jammer that was causing Izu to be adorably sick at the start of the episode.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, like, and he's going through like his family remedy, and then he's like, wait a minute, Humagears can catch colds.
Yeah, he's like in the middle of he's just like, wait, you can get colds. He stops himself.
And yeah, but I get that the bird beak is on the mouthpiece now, but that's not good enough. The bird head on Jin's helmet was very unique, and I liked it.
Then you know what? You can shop Burning Falcon with the thing.
Maybe I will!
Yeah, go for it.
Oh.
Do it, bitch. Old man Hill's a clown.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, Mr. Ichi.
Yes.
Mr. Ichi.
Don't call him Mr. Ichi.
That sounds like my detective name. Mr. Ichi. Just say it.
Who's Aruto's mom? Has that ever been brought up?
No.
Or where he lives?
This is my response. Just like it's just Zero-One's head. No, we don't know who Aruto's mom is. We know who his grandpa is. We know who his dad was. Dad was a robot.
I mean, he had an actual dad, and then that dad died, so they replaced it with a robot who then also
Is
died.
that what it was? I'm pretty sure he just has a robot dad.
No, he said in one episode that he had an actual dad who died, and then they replaced him with a robot who also died.
I thought that was against the law. You can't do that.
No, it's only if it's the same guy.
President.
Yeah, I guess.
Hold on. I just realized something that we probably should have talked about a long fucking time ago. So you know how when human gears get blown up, they have backups and they come back?
Yeah.
Why the fuck hasn't Aruto's dad bot come back?
Because he's special, like Izu.
He was probably
maybe
a prototype in which they probably didn't have that type of.
Also, Ichi, the
like,
way
Did no one think to maybe build him another one?
Ichi,
Since we're already here replacing his father with robots, why not make another one?
you should wear your headphones down so you can look like a first-gen human gear. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your first-gen human gear Ichi. You can totally customize a human gear.
Yeah.
Just get the module that
I just hit a button.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
that you know of. Little do you know you're being hacked right now.
There you go. I did it.
Wow.
On the Apple human gear link.
So you can't be updated.
Vegas
to get a new one.
Vegas brings up the point that it became illegal for them to make human gears that look like real people.
Yeah,
but maybe that was after that. Like,
so make him legally distinct then. We resemble but are legally distinct from Aruto's dad.
just they put a mole on my cheek, so I'm different.
Yeah.
It's Aruto's dad. Due to international copyright laws, it is not.
Still, we should run like it is Aruto's dad.
Ah! No, it isn't.
So we don't know where like Aruto lives. Does he
imply Aruto lives anywhere?
So we also
Aruto...
Wait, did you talk about Seasats?
No.
Okay.
Did Aruto poop?
No.
Does Aruto
I mean,
poop?
a lot of the Aruto faces of the week I take, they look like he's taking a shit.
He's a shitty Kamen Rider. Does that count?
Ooh.
No.
But like. That's what I want more out of a Kamen Rider show.
You want them to shit?
No.
Do you want a Kamen Rider that's themed after shit?
You want them to have a mom?
No.
You mean Banjo?
Just a life outside of being a hero. Like Godai.
He's the president! He's the president!
Drive! He was a cop. He was a cop outside of being in Kamen Rider Drive.
Aruto's the president of a company! They don't have lives outside the office!
That counts!
You never saw his outside life?
Yes, we did. He liked to lie down in the park and eat milk candies when he was depressed.
Like Koda. Koda from Gaim. He freaking lived with his sister. He did daytime jobs. We at least...
In episode 2 and no other time!
Yeah, and then he got fired from all of his jobs because he tried to use his rider powers.
We at least knew.
And then the juice bar dude was like, it's okay, I'll just pretend you work here!
But at least...
I'll pay you for saving the city!
Godai.
That's what... That was my first example. Godai. We saw him do everything.
Shoichi, he did cooking.
He was their
a housekeeper.
Soichi, do you have
his job was being a homemaker.
Yeah, he was a homemaker.
Do you have your memories? Oh no, I don't. Episode 30 when he regains his memory. I remember when I ran away from home, I had tomatoes, and that's when I loved them. A few hours later, just the main chick going down to the kitchen.
Whoa!
Wait! Hours later, she's like, wait a minute.
I always loved in Nagito that he had like unknown sense, so you just see like.
Oh, by the way, that's Mana-chan. Use her name.
I know.
She is the second greatest woman of Kamen Rider.
She had the 2007 best ass in Japan.
She did.
Yep. Anyways, we got a better close up of the Slash Riser, and God, it's a fucking cool ass thing.
I still dislike that the Progress Key slot just sticks out of it.
I like that, and I like that it's just a solid red color. It looks so nice.
It's a translucent red, not a solid red.
So that makes
it's all red.
You're all red.
That makes 8 drivers now.
Yes.
Jeebus.
Yeah,
too many belts. Too many belts.
I'm getting it.
You know what? Okay, if this wasn't the Ryusoulger finale, I would say just make the Brady Bunch, except it's like different.
The Brady belts.
Yeah, the Brady belts. Just different belts.
This reference isn't dated, and we don't care who knows.
Vulcan.
I'm sure I can fit in the YouTube version.
So he uses his Hisatsu, the Inferno Wing Burning Rain, and I just think that is an awesome name for a Hisatsu.
Burning Rain. I wonder why rain.
Burning Rain.
Topical cream will clear that right up.
It's Kamen Rider Jin, and he's gonna bring the pain. Burning rain.
Wow,
Burning.
timely.
Yeah, right.
Okay, take it back. The Brady Bunch is not the most.
Wow.
Hang on.
I just don't get why it's rain when it's a fire themed
It's a
form.
rain of fire.
I'm gonna rain fire on you in a fucking second.
Yeah, that shut you up. You're like, what is it? I'm like, rain of fire.
You're correct, but fuck you.
I want to save that as an
God
audio
bless
clip
the rains down in
I'm gonna rate them.
Oh, we're in Japan next
Just,
week.
just what you just said. I want to save that as an audio bite.
So do it.
I will.
I wish
Haha, I've tricked Dar into listening to the
I wish
episode.
people animated these episodes. They're so good. It's
Well,
so
I mean,
wordy.
we had that one moment where I lost my shit.
Derp, fuck them.
Yeah,
You need that one moment in episode.
Hellfire says some other subs translated as rain as in REIGN.
Like,
No.
like a reign as in like an era?
Yeah. It was like the reign of a king.
No.
The Age of Ultron?
Hon-
Guys,
honestly,
it was kind of
as-
like a weekend.
As much as that solves my problem, I think that makes less sense.
Yeah.
That does kind of make less sense.
And yeah, so Jin has like these new human gear earpiece things because he's the evolved one.
Yeah,
And I like that they actually thought he was human, and then like Izu scans him, it's like, no, he's still human gear.
You're human.
You're human.
He could have been a giant robot.
I wish Andros was actually a giant lizard alien. I think that would have been cool.
That would have been
He
the-
should have been an alien.
Just the last episode, right as he's about to destroy the pod, he just like reveals his true form.
Do you know what actually baffles me now? I'm sorry to go off topic for a second, but we had a show called Power Rangers in Space, and we didn't have the fucking Alien Rangers in that season. That should have crossed over.
I'm pretty sure they showed up at one scene when everyone was fighting everyone.
They showed up at the end of
I don't know if that counts if
Instead of
everyone
the
else
Turtles
was also there.
crossover, we should have teamed up with the Alien Rangers.
Lane.
I don't want that timeline.
Lane.
I do.
Lane.
What?
It was their final. At that time, it was their final season. Do you really think they had the money to get those actors back?
Yes.
No, they didn't.
Yes. Have them in suit or something. I don't care.
They did.
You know what I mean, though. I want like a proper crossover.
What are you talking about? We got a Turbo Alien Ranger crossover with Diva Talks beating the shit out of
But
them.
Alien Ranger! Yeah!
That wasn't even the same voice actor.
I know it wasn't.
That's how much Power Rangers doesn't care about the Alien Rangers.
So basically, the episode ends with Horby and Jin going back to the Ark, and
Horby's
Horby's
like, I'm proud of you, son.
Saban doesn't care about the Alien Rangers.
Your name's Jin. I like
Says when they're
lasagna.
coming back that it's a cameo, but they call it waste of money.
That's just Horby. Your name's Jin. You like lasagna.
So basically, Jin turns around and goes, I am here to betray you, father.
No! Go get your gun!
And then he cocks his Glock.
And he walks into the camera.
Robot Glock.
And he walks into the camera.
Glock. Robot Glock.
Wait. He holds out a gun and he points it straight at the camera.
No, he walks it towards the camera.
Oh shit! That.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
like
mess with the Jin, you get thrown in the bin.
Oh my god, that's amazing! That's really good.
I didn't expect that to be that reaction from Ichi.
Ichi turned to Griza.
Oh my god, are you okay, Ichi?
I didn't expect him to fucking laugh so hard at that. That's good. Thank you. Someone draw that!
That should be the title of the episode.
No.
Mess with the Jin, you end up in the bin.
The recycle bin.
No!
I think that's a lot better than me doing the DK rap thing with the he's got style and he's got ears. This guy is one tough gear.
Wow.
I like to mess with Jim.
Horby and Jin. Horby and Jin.
We don't do ride watches anymore, Gar.
I wasn't expecting it to make a sound. I thought we took all the batteries out
What
of
do you
these
mean you weren't
things.
expecting it to make a sound?
We took all the batteries out of
Which
them.
house do you think you live in?
We took the batteries out of them earlier.
No, he took the ones out of the ones he was shipping to someone.
The one about this one, just pull out another one. Stop!
Not the extra loud one.
Also, did we talk about how like Jin had the Burning Falcon key on a chain?
Oh no,
yeah.
that was weirdly adorable.
I hope that the actual, it's not going to, but I hope that the Burning Falcon key actually comes with like an attachable chain, so you can just like keep.
I want a chain that can just be attached to any progress key. Maybe it's magnetic.
It's
That would be cool.
same progress key, right?
Same shape.
Same shape. You could probably take this off, add like a clip around it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I can't wait to get the.
But then it wouldn't fit in the driver.
Well, as long as you at least...
Actually, maybe it would. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't wait to get the spinning cheetah keys things going.
Oh, yeah. The Narikiri set.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that set. That sounds
hilarious.
Sounds kind of stupid.
It is
Stupidly
stupid.
awesome.
That's the point.
I'm getting it.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
That should be a webcomic shirt. I'm gonna get. Of course you are.
Yeah.
All of us in unison. Of course you are.
So after Jin gives Vulcan a proper shit kicking, he tells him that his motive is to give all the human gears free will.
So this is just turning into iRobot.
It's like a kid like reading like a report in class. My name's Kamen Rider Jin, and my dream is to free all the human gears.
I want them all to be my friends.
Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub.
Jin, this is the 7th Falcon you brought in this week.
No. Burning Falcon. Zero-One, this is the 8th belt you brought into this show.
Yeah.
Scrawl!
Oh my god, her.
Oh, Mrs.
Mrs. I forgot her
It's not
name is.
Krabappel.
No, it's not
That's
Krabappel.
Simpsons.
It's
Yeah,
Crandall.
I don't remember her name either.
Oh, this is bugging me
Teacher
now.
from Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, Jimmy. Oh, this is bugging me.
Well, I remember from Angela and Icona, Mrs. Brinks.
Miss Grundy. Miss Grundy. That's Archie. Tom,
I remember Miss.
What did you think of the episode?
It was okay.
Foul.
Did you like Jen burning Falcon?
I found that as much as they tried to make it seem like, hey, we're back on the plot and shit, this was a dirty clip show, a dirty clip episode with a good fight in it disguised to be not a clip episode.
Wait.
Yeah.
And I felt that even, like, other than basically even the reveals were like same shit again. Yeah, Jin, remember him? He's back. Horby, look, he's back in Pog form. And it's like...
in bin form.
And it's like, what about you, Fua? I'm still angry about the Human Gears thing. What about you, Arto? I'm still mad that they're trying to take over my business. What about you, Thouser? Oh, I don't really have anything to do here. Okay, what about you, Yua? I don't know, I don't have anything to do in this episode. This was literally a dirty clip episode disguised as plot.
I love how
But it also did explain a lot of things.
A lot of it was stuff we'd heard before, but it was good to get it all summarized in order for Arto to learn it all. But I love how, like, I watched the episode before you showed up, and then you watched the episode, and both of us realized at the exact same moment during separate viewings, wait, this is a clip show! It was when they started talking about Zaya forming AIMS, and you see the clips of Fuwa turning into base form Vulcan. At that exact moment, both of us during separate watchings went, this is the clip show!
It's just, you know what? It's just we've had like fucking like 8 episodes of shameless filler, 1 episode of kind of plot, and then more kind of plot, disguise, you know, like
wrapped within a clip show.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, oh, and then it's like at the end. By the way, firefighters next. We're back to the competition, and I'm just in my head going, fuck. Fuck you, fuck you, Aruto. Fuck you, Fua. Fuck Thouser, you're okay. Fuck you, you're okay. Fuck you, I quit.
Wait, that's a neat parallel. Next episode's about firefighters. And it's also the first week of Cure Major, and the Red Ranger's mech is a fire truck.
Oh my god.
That's
a coincidence.
That's some.
Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this on air yet. I may have, but this is the first episode since Thouser debuted that he actually hasn't been in a suit for.
What is he just wearing like?
He's like, I'm not
like stretch pants
he
and
just
like
didn't join them
like
for the rest of the episode.
Like he's just loafing around.
Like they went up to him and they asked
He's got
him
like a Scott Pilgrim jacket going on.
Like they went up to him, they asked him, it's like, oh, what do you know more about Ark? You made that damn thing. He just didn't feel like answering them.
It just came off as like, I'm not participating in this fucking clip show.
It's like
that's your guys' problem. I'm worrying about buying your company.
Okay, Lane.
Yes.
So I decided that I had to move the Arc satellite, and I'm half moving it, but now it's kind of broken in half, and I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah, so the one in the sky is going to be perfect, but the one down here is broken.
Well, cool. Guys, we already know how Zero-One's going to end, right?
No.
It's Isaac from Orville.
That's pretty good.
I remember that being like Cell's profile.
I want to watch that
picture
show, but it's not
forever.
on fucking anything that I have.
I can send you a link to where I watched it.
Yeah? Is it like a stupid advertising thing that if I don't have ad blocker, it's going to wreck my day?
I don't remember. I maybe had to close like one window.
Or you can just buy the DVDs.
Or that.
They're pretty cheap.
Support the official release.
Well, no, I want to stream it somewhere. Like, I'll pay to stream it, but I don't want to buy physicals.
Why not?
I don't know if I like the show or not.
Kaboom!
Kaboom!
There'll be another movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And now...
Oh no! It's a Super Helen!
And so I face the final... Oh, shit! Yeah, that kind of felt very underwhelmed. No joke, that's how I kind of felt about this.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Zero-One right now.
So can I briefly talk about episode 47 since I wasn't here for it?
Yes.
I'm going to allow this.
I thought it was going to be better, and it wasn't. And better yet, that kind of sums up the show.
Well, you don't have to look at it anymore?
Yeet.
Well, no, I'll go back to it one day whenever I do the history of Super Sentai.
Look at this Sentai. It looks like dangerous, like a little kid made it. Anyways.
So yeah, here we are, everyone. This kind of feels very underwhelming. Then again, best way to describe the show. Underwhelming.
I thought it was a pretty satisfying ending.
I was adequately whelmed.
We'll get into thoughts on the overall series afterwards, but right now we're talking specifically about this episode.
Yeah,
episode
that's what I'm saying.
47.
You said this episode.
Yeah, Tom, you're catching up. Because
Episode 47 was beautiful, bittersweet, had great performances. It had very little battle, which it just had so much story, and it reminded you what you care about, which is that these characters are great. What they lack in plot, they have in charm and character development because, well, look at how much character development that the Power Rangers got. Like one of them, maybe?
Yeah, you know what? I will agree with you that Ryusoulger's strong point is its characters.
What characters? They're all archetypes. They never...
Have you watched Sentai?
Archetypes can be
31
fun.
of them.
Just because they're archetypes doesn't mean they're not interesting.
But,
Not every show has to fucking be unique and original with its writing. It can just have some good characters that we've seen.
They're all Bamba.
I prefer them.
Yeah, Bomba Ranger!
It's all Bamba.
I prefer them to be original in their writing.
Oops, all Bombas.
Oh, great Bomba!
They are.
Oops, so Bamba.
Yeah.
God bless. I'm keeping the gray one. That's awesome.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course I am.
La 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 Bamba.
So...
We didn't make that joke once, did we? So
I'm pretty sure I made the Baba Bomba joke.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you, Kaguya.
They look good.
Okay, so this episode starts with the three Megazords trying to give Super Helen a run for her money, and they could probably get their shit kicked in.
I keep forgetting you call her Helen.
Yeah.
Kudos
Super Helen.
Kudos to them for doing something creative with the Megazord fight, and with that being having it filmed outside.
They let them out of their cage to go run around with the wild Megazords.
Like it was filmed in like it was filmed with like natural lighting and like with some good camera work. So I'm like, oh wow, that was pretty good. All right, maybe this.
Try holding your breath for a bit, Emily. That works for me.
Okay, sorry.
Emily ends up passing out.
Emily.
What?
Emily.
What?
Boo!
It doesn't work when you call the person for like a minute beforehand.
He tried to yell into his headset when the audio comes through our mic.
So did you just scare everyone but me?
It's gonna peek.
Cover your ears, people.
I don't know why I apologize for that. Like, sincerely, I apologize for that, because I don't know why.
I took my headphones out to do that.
Okay, if the holding breath doesn't work, do what the Grumps suggested. Close your eyes and put your finger like very close to your eyelid and try and just like touch a hair.
Well, the way to stop it is actually to try to force yourself to hiccup, because it causes your diaphragm to reset.
So you're giving your hiccups reverse psychology?
Do what I do.
Basically.
Just take a large sip of water and just fucking
and hiccup it all over your desk.
Do what I do. Scream!
I mean,
Anyways,
the other thing that always works is eating peanut butter, but I can't really do that.
If I knew how to take care of the hiccups, do you think I would be lying here listening to this? My advice to you, Emily, run!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having 5 minutes worth of fun talking about hiccups rather than research.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this.
Oh god, that snort just made my head all dizzy.
So
Are
they
you
had
okay?
to. So they had to sacrifice the Kishiryu to like power up the reseal
which we knew was coming. They very clearly said we have to use the Kishiryu's power to reseal Helen, so we knew this was coming.
Also, gotta give it up for them. Holy shit, they actually kept on their promise
Of giving up the Zords?
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Well, they're not dead, they're just sealed.
They're hanging out with Ankh in that place where we'll be brought back eventually.
We'll come back for the crossovers.
Will we see them? Give it another year for the crossover.
Yeah.
If there's a crossover.
Every time there was like, they lost the Zords or they lost their powers, I was like, they'll be back again, crossover.
But he waved goodbye and said, don't you cry. I'll be back again, the Versus movie.
Yeah.
Now I'm drunk.
I like how that suggests that there will be a Frosty the Snowman versus movie at some point.
Frosty versus Super Sentai.
Well, there's Frosty
plus Kamen Rider plus Frozen.
Christmas in July.
Frosty,
yeah, I know, I've seen that, but it's not really a versus movie.
Featuring Gavan.
It's a versus.
Frosty versus Rudolph.
You know what? Where's my death battle of Frosty versus Rudolph?
Someone will shop that. But the really funny thing is, like, Helen gets into this whole spiel. She gets, like, drops all pretense and just goes, "You humans fight and contaminate the land, and I must purify."
Chris, itchy. 5 words or less, or 7 words or less.
You humans are bad guys. Nailed it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Oh my god.
That's kind of an in-joke.
I actually been making my players stick to it in D&D because they keep trying to say these monologues. I'm like, you have 7 words.
Yeah.
What did you start doing?
He started monologue. It was 5 words. Nailed it. It was just my self-commentary.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to Hero Cat?
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Eventually.
I didn't know anyone cared.
Of course we care. We love doing it.
Every single week I'm like, when's Hero Cat?
Well, I thought that people weren't watching it. Somebody told me nobody was watching it.
I don't know.
That's all of our content.
There's people show up to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could do HeroCast again.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Whenever HeroCast isn't on screen, people should be asking, "Where's HeroCast?"
Oh, was that the Poochie reference?
Yeah. That's just you're the first reference, you bastard.
I was doing Poochie, but yeah, that too.
Oh, I thought you were referencing how, like, where's Steven? We don't have to do that here for.
No, but that also. But yeah, Helen gets super preachy about being an environmental purist and all that.
Yeah, Helen was like, "You started fighting the Druidons. How dare you?
Fighting bad.
You have stolen my future." Oh my god.
You have stolen.
Is Helen Greta Thunberg given mega size?
How dare you?
Were they fighting climate change all along?
I shouldn't be up here.
Now,
I love Greta Thunberg, but I had to make a joke.
I'm just
could be worse. I could be Excite Oil.
Did
you fucking see what they did? They fucking drew child pornography of the Greta Thunberg for their logo.
I heard about that.
I heard there was a Greta Thunberg doll of some sort made.
So there's like she's like Don Cheadle's Captain Planet. Tree.
I love Blaze. Helen took the Zords in the divorce. She has to see the She has to see the planet's manager.
So Ko gets the caliber and he like thrusts it into Super Helen. And
yeah, that after they try to steal Helen with the Zord's power, it isn't enough.
Yeah, it breaks off inside of her.
They get the caliber about halfway in.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And then Ko just sacrifices everyone's powers to get a giant blade of light. And I'd make a Final Fantasy XIV reference, but I don't want to spoil shit for Tom.
It seemed more like a Kirby Final Smash.
That was a great moment. Like I was watching that. Like I was still in my Uber, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of endings are pretty much the same way. Like, just we're going to attack with, we're going to get in the Zords, we're going to hit it really hard while we talk about our feelings. Whereas this one felt like they had real stakes.
Like right away.
It actually felt real that they were shit out of luck, that they were in a lot of trouble, and they literally were like, well, we need to win by any means, and we will sacrifice anything.
My one problem is it was Ko by himself. Isn't Sentai supposed to be about teamwork?
Sentai
yes, but it's too much.
But unfortunately, this is
it's just like Pure Lovely being the only one who goes out.
Red Range.
Final fight.
Let's not everyone talk at once.
Red Ranger is the mascot of the franchise, so unfortunately...
Sure, but have everyone else behind him.
He fucking died! He's dead for half the episode! Who was carrying the rest of the episode? Fucking Asuna! Asuna carried that fucking episode. And you know what she was carrying for the whole thing? Her and Bomba? The whole fucking show. But I like Ko, because Ko is awesome.
Yeah, so Ko got his moment with the giant blade of light, and then promptly fucking died.
Except he was like in the void, though.
I like their...
he was in the Helen space.
I'll be in the clip show episode, the clip show space.
Sorry?
I like their reaction to it. Like when Ko got stabbed, it's like Bomba's eyes widen, Asuna legit, like her scream felt authentic. Like
it did.
Like, oh
it was like
shit!
A real scream of terror.
It was, but at the same time, I was like, "You're screaming right in his face, dude!"
Right as he's dying.
Well, that's how they woke up Tony Stark after he fell from the space.
Wow.
That's what did happen. Tony was dead, and then Hulk restarted his heart.
Oh, Itchy, an emergency. Do you have a switch plug?
Yeah.
Because I'm building this fucking arc. I'm hoping to have it done by the end. But the thing is, I don't know if any of you guys play Minecraft. You ever flooded something? It's a hit and miss thing.
It's hard to
have isn't long enough. You'd have to leave it here to charge.
Oh shit! All right, I guess I'll finish this later.
But these last two episodes.
Here, plug this in. Itchy, I got it right now.
Okay. These last two episodes really feel like the directors turned to Asuna and went, "Okay, now you can act."
Wait, really?
Then I love it.
Because she's shown more emotion in these last two episodes that felt genuine than probably the rest of the show.
Genuine, but out of character a bit. But then again, what character?
That's Dom Rice. She has a lot of characters. She's
what
actually
character?
One of those
She likes food.
Okay,
She
guys,
likes food.
to be serious, Asuna had some things to her that was more than just food. She was very happy and happy-go-lucky, excited about stuff. She got very, upset when people would, poke fun at her, and she had traits to her.
She's also one of the only characters that doesn't have an emo moment where they run off and do something stupid because they just can't deal.
Yeah, because the writers didn't know how to write that first.
No, because she's a fucking strong character. Ironically, both her and Melto, they've got it figured out.
I just wish the show had remembered more consistently that she was strong.
Yeah.
When it did, it was pretty great, though.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like? This is a show that got fucked over by a committee at the beginning because they fired the fucking crew. They're like, we need you to make awesome now! And they're like, okay, well, we got some ideas. Not right now!
It feels like a Sentai call, we need awesome writing now!
Yeah. And the thing is, the show got off to a rough start. But I think by the end, it became, and I'm giving it my final, it became a good, solid Sentai. I would say that it's better than Tokuger. I would say that it's...
Make sure, as Ichi says...
Yeah, I love Tokuger.
I love Tokuger.
However, I found Tokuger's characterizations to be very weak. All of the characters were practically interchangeable except for Red.
The problem with that was... Unfortunately,
weren't they?
Unfortunately, that was just the result of the fact that they were, in fact, children.
Tokuger had very weak rangers, but very strong villains.
Yeah.
This had very strong rangers, but inconsistently weak villains. Meaning that there were good ones.
Awesome.
Crayon was awesome.
Crayon and Waizaru, the only good villains, survived.
Crayon was a god?
I mean, based on the design of his shorts, I'm pretty sure Crayon's a guy.
But
no,
I mean,
a god!
The villains... Yeah, the villains...
Not a guy.
Luckily, the only good villain survived.
Yeah.
Crayon and Waizaru.
I didn't see Tank Joe there.
Tank Joe was okay, but I don't know if I'd call him great.
Is Gun George okay?
No,
he died.
Both died.
Gun George and the cooler Gun George both died.
George! Technically, that guy, the knife guy, survived because we never saw him get killed.
Oh, Yabasword?
No, he did.
When did we see him get killed?
It was
off screen.
I remember him chasing them around last episode, but I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, it's like somebody's awake and you never see him again.
Giant Helen obliterated them.
Oh, right. When Helen went nuts with her consenticles. As in, no one consenticles.
And yeah, Precious is also alive.
Yeah, why? Why would they have Precious survive? What possible purpose could that serve?
Oh my god, Blaze! Creon is the king piece. He's the most important, but he's the weakest piece.
Except Yabasword was clearly designed after a king.
Yeah, but he didn't act like a king. He actually acted...
What do you mean? He acted like a spoiled baby who just wanted to play with his toys. That sounds pretty king-like.
That's true.
Crayon's the pawn. That's all I meant.
Yeah. No, Crayon's not a pawn. The Numpties are the pawns.
Yeah, the Dorans are the pawns.
Oh, you mean the Mooks that did nothing?
I think that Crayon is his own thing.
Crayon is the promoted pawn. He's a pawn that made it to the other end.
He's not a Druidon. He's from a different planet. He doesn't have one of those little emblems on him. He was just someone who was appropriated by the Druidons for their purposes.
Did they cultural appropriate him?
Oh,
basically.
Because at the end, Wiser was like, let's go to your planet.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
They just get back there. Oh, look, it's the reject.
Oh. They're all...
Creon is the friends we made along the way.
No.
Because he makes the friends along the way.
Crayon's shiny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone else is, like, reverse colors.
Yeah.
They're pink with green shorts.
Yeah.
Where he's...
Ooh, it's Mr. Green Slime.
Yeah.
You make Minosaurs. Everyone else makes Plus-saurs.
Finally, Plus-saurs. To me, that's been going around to test tube. Just finally, full Quartzer.
Finally, creatures that bring out the good in people. Like, he was banished from his planet because he was a mutant that only created negativity.
So like, Ko's like trapped in like purgatory or something.
I call it the hell in space.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, the coupon zone.
I guess I missed what exactly happened, but like, apparently they like convinced Ko or someone convinced Helen to just go, alright, I'm out, bye!
So Helen's whole deal was that humanity was evil and contaminated the land. And
from my perspective, you're evil!
Yeah. And so Ko, from the inside, and the others, from the outside, double team her with this friendship morale speech about humans and future and destiny and we make our own whatever. And apparently that just convinces her to go, well... my work is done!
Oh, do your pop sound. Thank you.
And she just uninstalls herself from the earth and dies!
Like, it reminded me of...
She just decided, like, I'm just gonna leave now. It was weird.
So, I'm gonna return to my home planet.
It reminds me of this...
she was killed on the way back to her home planet.
It reminds me of the villain from Fallout 3, who's the president of the...
Hellenheim, I like that place!
Is the president of the Capital Wasteland, President Eden, John Eden. And voiced by Malcolm McDowell, mind you, so it's fucking awesome. And so you meet him, he's a computer, and you're able to talk to him for like several minutes, and you can, if you have high enough persuasion, you can actually convince him to kill himself and shut himself off. It's great, and I successfully did it. With
the big Helen, I'm winning again! Now I am leaving Earth for no reason!
That's literally what that was. That's what that was.
I can't believe the Sentai ended with the villain deciding, well, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, you guys make a fair point. They used the Sentai generic Sentai speech to defeat the villain.
And yet then usually you get that speech and then they go into some kind of like clusterfuck beam form and all the Zords are back. And I like that this one's like
that didn't happen
because the whole
then
thing is
all
the
sort
villain
of jumped into the. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. That's okay. I was interrupted again and silenced. So go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead, Emily.
Go ahead.
I just was gonna say everyone sort of jumped into the void and all held. Cool.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm good.
But, like, I can't believe this. I don't think I've seen another show in all of tokusatsu where they defeated the villain with a speech. They logicked it out of existence.
And that's why it's awesome.
I don't know how I feel about that besides flabbergasted. I don't know if that's good or bad, and I don't know if I like it or hate it.
You know,
I may have.
You know what Sentai reminds me of? That ending? None.
Exactly.
And that's awesome.
No, there have been some endings, like Live Man's ending.
So when Ko like came back to life, I don't know why, but this like you have to click on when it comes up, but you have to click on. This is what it reminded me of. Just fucking. The princess fucking kisses Sonic back to life.
Oh God!
Come back to us, Sonic. To me.
You're missing the Evanescence song.
Oh.
Wake me up, wake me up,
Here,
Ko can't wake up.
So,
oh fuck! That movie ruined Sonic for me.
You know, this might be a good analogy for this final episode. It felt hollow. It felt like a hollow victory.
I don't agree.
I mean, it did end up with them actually losing their Zord friends for reals, at least for now.
I think there's been an ongoing thing about sacrifice, and it's not about, it's not about destruction. It's about what they were willing to give up to stand up for what they believed in. Yeah. And they sacrificed it, and it was enough. If they had a lot of times people, they sacrifice everything, and then it's like, through the power of friendship, we have our powers again. In fact, this was the least hollow victory that I can think of in recent Super Sentai, because it literally, they put their money where their mouth is, and they sacrificed their powers, but not at the cost of their friends, not at the cost of what they believed in. They gave up their power.
I will say, one thing I was kind of expecting them to do that they didn't, which surprised me, was just at the end, oh look, Nana's back.
Oh.
They were kind of hinting at for a second.
At the end of it, you see Ko visiting like his ghost with the fucking Max Claw sitting there. So
I think it was just his ghost.
But that wasn't explicitly Nada is back.
He'll come back in the V cinema.
Fucking probably.
There is a V cinema.
They said they are making one.
Oh no! Usually at the end of like when they do the Red Ranger handshake, there would have been some sort of like thing in the bumper, or like in the banner, being like V Cinema coming.
Oh, okay, I heard somewhere that they announced they were making one.
It was rumored for a bit, but
okay, that was a rumor.
It would have been announced by now.
Also, like during the period when Ko was dead, it was kind of funny just seeing Melt decide to take up his Ryusoulgen and dual wield them.
Like, you're not the fucking
And then they did the roll call and everything, and he like even left a gap in their lineup for him.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Worst final henshin ever.
I don't agree. I thought I had
it's
tears.
Not the worst I've
literal
seen.
tears in my eyes.
It's not the worst I've seen.
I don't know how I feel about that one, because like it wasn't a proper henshin. It was just them walking, and then like glowing sand just comes on them.
Glowing sand, yeah, I guess so.
How I saw it was like it's not the worst I've seen. It's.
I will say that if they had done the proper henshin with like the dancing knight figures, it would have ruined the scene.
Exactly, that's why.
I at least would.
That's the point.
I would have at least enjoyed it, like while they're walking, suit comes on first.
That's exactly.
Then the helmet isn't on first, but then they're like Ryusoul blue, and then the helmet.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because so many Sentai have that last episode where they fight without their helmets.
Helmetless.
Oh, they're everywhere. All these knits you're picking, they're flying around.
Have you seen this show? It's what we do.
But it's like
I think you both went into this going, I don't fucking care what it is. I fucking hate this series, and I won't say shit.
I want to
take one shit.
I'm not gonna say I hate it.
I never hate anything. Hate is too much of a strong word.
I give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this series.
All I'll say is that I feel like this series had gigantic maximum amounts of potential to become my new favorite because of the night theme. Like there was so much in it that I was looking forward to, and I feel like not all of that potential was lived up to. Like I've been saying from episode 1, they didn't go hard enough with the night motif. There wasn't enough Team Hisatsus. We got a couple, but it was definitely less than 10. Maybe less than 5. Maybe 5.
It felt flat.
The Minosaurs growing bigger right away was too much of an occurrence. You know what I mean? But
the gradual growing at the beginning was neat.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can already... are we done with the finale? Do we want to just...
Ultraman Jack showed up one more time without his goatee.
We got Uwe!
I didn't recognize him, and I thought that was someone else!
Then I had to explain to you, oh no, he, once in a while, he just gets rid of his goatee and he looks like a completely different person.
Also, it was cute because, Toa wanted to, go world traveling, and so...
Where did that come from?
No, it's just always been his thing.
Has it ever been mentioned before these 2 episodes?
Yes.
I don't remember it.
So Bomba was being really fucking adorable and was just like, I want you to leave. I love you, Nissan.
You have a light inside you that I don't have.
I'll be back. You be good and fucking socialize. No, you need to socialize.
And not through stabbing.
Well, he can't. They lock they chain their swords up. So
they put their swords in the stone.
And I see it, and that happened. I'm like, but Bomba stab.
And the chainsaw.
Yeah, they chained up their swords, put them back into the stone. There was this gorgeous memorial of all the Zords. And also, and also the location they were in was totally the top of Pandora Tower.
Just as they're all walking away.
It's also where they did the summoning at the end of Wizard. I've seen so many things in there.
But it's like as they're all walking away, just they all start going their own separate directions. Wait, were we actually any friends?
I thought the point of breaking out of the illusion was so that we could be friends and hang out with each other. And then they all just do their separate things.
Yeah, they just sort of go their separate.
You do realize that at several points during this series, every one of those things was discussed as a thing of, what would you do after the war with the Druidons is over? And each one of them said what they would do.
And that's fine. No, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Just because they're going off to do their own thing just means we've, it's not that we're not being friends. It's we finally done this thing. Let's go do our own things instead of doing our duty.
Tom, I wasn't being serious. I was making a joke.
Yeah.
So Kanalo's off to get laid again, as a Kanalo do.
We never saw that water tribe.
Yeah.
The water tribe was like Kanalo's credibility. It never really existed in the first place. I fucking hate Kanalo. In the previous episode, I'm just like, Kanalo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the fact that Kanalo was like, no, put me back in the dream. I want to get married.
All right, fuck you, Cypher. Let's move on. I love that literally is like, I'll put you all back, and it's like, and Asu's like, what the fuck? Asu is like, that's not our dreams. You can't speak for us, and just had this fucking amazing monologue.
Yeah. I mentioned this last week as well, but I think it's absolutely funny that the reason they were like, no, we don't want to be in the dream is because their friends weren't there. I just wanted so bad for Ko to just pop up and went, Nada was in mine.
Yeah.
His fantasy was just to be friends with Nada and no one else.
What an asshole.
Yeah, right?
and the dad.
Yeah. And also to keep freeloading off Ui's dad, but not Ui. Yeah. She's not in there. Speaking of Ui, she comes back from America.
Yeah. I swear they filmed that when they were when they wrote her out when she was sick, because she looks like shit still.
Yeah, kind of.
I think it's just we need one little scene. Well, she had way too much makeup on.
Yeah,
it's either way too much makeup. I don't know about you guys, but her face looked more pudgy.
That's exactly what I thought.
It did, yeah. Well, because it looked like she was sick, right? Her. Sick and
yeah, right. I almost thought it wasn't her again.
Yeah, so I think they were just like, okay, well, hey, we're gonna have you in the studio for one last shoot day to write you out and shoot you coming back at the end. I mean, because how long do you think that took to shoot? Maybe a minute?
Yeah. I mean, plus they had her in a disguise level outfit, with a hat and sunglasses.
She's also in a wig.
Yeah.
She's in a wig. Whoa.
I just love that last week we got news that Ryusoulger was getting adapted, and this week was Ui comes back from America to
tell us about America.
Yeah.
Oh, they just announced this at Toy Fair.
I don't have to tell you about America. You're all going.
What?
All expenses paid. All expenses paid trip to America.
What if Ryusoulger's adaptation was just they dubbed it?
Oh, I don't think they'd ever
Also, we gotta see a wall of all these photo albums of them doing stuff.
Jumping Bomba!
We got Jumping Bomba!
I can't believe it. One of the photos was Jumping Bomba.
Jumping Bomba.
What's Jumping Bomba again?
So in the ending, one of the endings during one of the parts in the ending, you just see them jump, and you just see Bomba just
doing a
serious
really
faces.
awkward pose.
Someone has to have a picture of jumping Bomba somewhere. Come on.
They took it out when Kanala was added to the ending, so we were all like
completely stoic.
We were all ripped jumping Bomba, but it was in the first version of the ending.
Yes.
And then we saw it there in the photo album, the shot of them all jumping, and we're just like, "Oh my God, jumping Bomba lives!"
She went to sell Ryusoulger to Hasbro. She was the one.
Yeah, thanks to her.
Yeah.
Dinosaur poop.
Oh yeah, so
no, fox poop.
Oh yeah, it was.
It said it was fox poop in the one I
was hoping it was going to be poop.
Oto, Meld, and
poop.
Tatsui become a team of archaeologists and go digging for shit. And by shit, I mean
Literally.
fox shit.
It's funny because Ryusoul Blue's actor wants to become a lawyer.
Oh, so Ghostly Black?
Yeah,
Cool.
but like he only did this just to pay for his like schooling.
Oh, so Ghostly Black?
Yeah.
Are we still not friends?
No, just Baba and Toa. Well, looks like we're gonna have to not see each other, brother. Yeah, just Katsumi and Isami. Hey, assholes! It's our thing!
So Asuna apparently decides to open a school which takes place at the castle from episode 2 of Ex-Aid.
Yep.
And Kanalo
They
apparently
got like 5 locations in this, man.
Kanalo apparently shows up as like a guest speaker, and he starts trying to teach young children about love and marriage.
Love and marriage.
It's an institute you can't disparage.
Ted Bundy.
Ask your
that's the
local
Gold
gentry.
Ranger.
He will tell you it's elementary.
Wow.
I want Ted Bundy to be the Gold Ranger.
I think you're thinking of Al Bundy. Ted Bundy is a horrific serial killer.
Yeah.
No, he's the villain.
Gar, no!
He's the villain then.
Gar, I think you're getting your Bundys mixed up. Like, you'd be better off going for King Kong Bundy.
Speaking of which, King Kong Escapes on Blu-ray.
I prefer King Pong.
Probably out of print.
I'm still waiting for King Pong.
Okay, fine. I'll put the photo in.
Well, you can't watch The King of Kong anymore because that guy's a fucking fraud.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Ryusoulger.
Yeah, the guy, the King of Kong guy, the used car salesman dude with the American tie. Somebody came out with a documentary and proved that almost all of his times are fraudulent.
Fun.
Like maybe the first ones when he was a teenager when he first got it, but I mean like every time he's reclaimed. I'm doing this is a radio
Air
show and I'm
quotes.
doing air quotes.
Yeah.
What is his fucking name?
Are you talking about the Pac-Man guy?
Pac-Man of one of the things. Yeah.
Like bearded guy. Long
Yeah.
hair?
He looks like a fucking pedophile.
Oh yeah, he came out. Yeah, it was confirmed that he was a fraud in all of his.
He
records.
wasn't actually a pedophile. He just looked like when you see a pedophile on the news, it's that long-haired thin man with a beard dressed up really nice.
Wow, okay.
What is his fucking name? I gotta look that up.
I was gonna say, I don't even know who you're talking about.
Oh, I gotta look it up. It's gonna bother me.
King of Kong.
Yeah.
Or Fistful of Quarters. That's what it was called, that documentary. So, anyways, guess that is the end of Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger.
Billy Mitchell.
Billy Mitchell, that's his name. Or Bitchy Mitchell.
Yeah. Long hair with a beard, dressed up real nice. Very thin and tall and smarmy. This guy, No, Keanu is the opposite. Keanu is the good version. Like, if Billy Mitchell was the devil... Keanu Reeves would be like
it's
bearded man suit Jesus.
Fun.
So let's go into our featured topic.
I thought that
Where
was
you
it.
surprised me. We were talking about an episode of something that I didn't watch.
There is no featured topic. It's basically just
Ryusoulger again.
The transition from talking about the final episode to overall thoughts.
Yay!
In which, how should we start this?
Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger.
Definitely the weakest dinosaur theme season.
I really didn't like that other one where there's just the 3 of them.
Abba Ranger?
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Rob Rangers.
I like the American version where they were making pizza.
I was going to say Dino Thunder is probably one of my favorite Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's one of the ones I've actually seen. I love that one.
Jungle Fury's the one with
I got 10 episodes into the other one. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was just so...
I haven't watched any of Abba Ranger.
I'll get back to it eventually.
Okay, so Ryusoulger. As people know from who listen to us, when they announced that we were going to get knights, I was psyched because knights are one of my favorite, or are my favorite fantasy motif. Period.
Remember when we thought they were going to be dragons?
Yes, I was going to say, I was hoping that they were going to be dragons.
We imagined dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we imagined dragons.
I'm disappointed that we didn't at least get a dragonic super form.
That's Billy Mitchell.
He definitely looks like Bizarro Keanu.
Yeah,
he looks
he's
like
evil Keanu.
He looks like the asshole you want to punch right in the fucking face.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've met him at a con, and I kind of did feel like punching him. Because he was talking about how if you were not a competitive gamer, put down the fucking controller and get a real job.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, fuck you. You play fucking 2 games.
Yeah, you see we got Pterodactyl and Tyramigo. Dragon.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a fair point. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You got your dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like the design because those colors really don't go well together, but sure.
You know what? I think that's definitely something I wanted to bring up. The whole gimmick for the Kishiryu and how, like, you can take them apart and you can mix and match them. But the show, I feel like, didn't really use that to its fullest potential.
Agreed.
I thought it was weird that Tiramigo was the only one that...
Well, he wasn't the only one. Piton was also a base form Megazord.
Yeah, Piton and the secondary ones, but none of the ones that the other main Rangers had.
There was Neptune, and there was also Kishiryu Jin in the movie.
Yeah. But
so I would say 4 is a good amount of base Megazord stats.
Well, like 3, if, like, again, there is the movie one, but he's just a repaint.
Yeah.
But that's all movie Zords.
I mean, like, they don't really have personalities.
Okay, so we should go through this, like, section by section. So
sorry.
Let's talk about the plot of Ryusoulger first. So basically, it was about this ancient tribe of humans who apparently had spaceships, but then we found out were birthed by Helen, who was on Earth the whole time, so why do they have spaceships?
It's very convoluted.
The pacing of the plot reveals in this show felt like they started with not much in mind for what was to come, but then another writer came in the end and went, okay, here's why this, and here's why that, and we're done.
You want to know the weird thing, though, about that, Ichi? What you just said, like, oh, add this here, add that there, that was the main writer. Like, if you took the main writer's episodes, you have the entire story.
Makes sense.
And it's only, like, 12, 15 episodes?
Yeah.
So, for a 48-episode series, and a quarter of it is just plot.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
And you know what? The show wasn't all bad. I won't say it was bad at all, but it was inconsistent was the problem. There were a good chunk of episodes towards, I would say, the 2/3 mark where we were all like, you know what? This show's finally hit its stride. It's gotten great. And unfortunately, those were the Nada episodes and not much else.
It was the fact that Nada brought something different to the table. He changed the status quo, and we were all upset when he left, thus the status quo going back to normal.
Yeah.
In which we don't... The status quo was fight Druidon.
As selfish as it may sound, the most interesting Sentai shows to me are the ones with more than just the 5+1 Rangers. And this show teased us with that by giving us Skyzorg and Nada, and then took it away, and then we were back to the base formula.
Status quo. There's a reason why I go back and watch past Sentai, and it's just one of the facts is I like to see, like, each season, see how different they are from each other.
Yeah.
You know there's a problem with Ryusoulger when I wait until the very last, like, hour to watch it before we start recording.
I mean, that could also... It's not just that. For us, we're adults with busy lives, and also we didn't have internet for 3 days this week.
That is
you didn't have internet for most of the...
but legit for me, I never had a drive to watch Ryusoulger early. I always waited until before we recorded, because that's how much I was, like, not excited to watch the next episode.
I'll admit I'm guilty of that as well, but also I'm very aware that I have not the greatest memory. So I actively... It's not just Ryusoulger. Zero-One is the same for me. I watch both the day of the recording or the day before because I want it to be as fresh in my mind as possible, even though I'm writing notes. Mm-hmm. So while I'm guilty of the same thing, it's not purely for the reason of, oh, I'm not excited to watch the show. I just want it all to be fresh in my head.
I think for like the story, especially in the very first episode, when like I'm just going to refer to him as Ultraman Jack.
The Elder?
Yeah, the Elder Jack.
Elder Jack.
Yeah, he acknowledges how there are more Ryusoulgers out there. And unfortunately, we only see, Toa, Bamba.
I feel like we should go back and check that, because maybe he was just saying that there's more Ryusoul tribesmen out there, because they established that the Ryusoul tribe are a subhuman race, but they never really show us any more actual Ryusoulgers.
But I think, personally, the show should have had more involving, the lore of the tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah, Set should never have been a thing at all. Set should not have been a thing.
Set should have been a thing.
He informed the plot a lot at certain points.
Set was unfortunately one of those characters that...
They only bring him in when he's convenient.
Yeah, he's there for plot dump.
He should have been around more, I think.
Set, or
been an actual character and not just an exposition device.
Exactly. He should have been go find Set. He lives in town. He knows the people. And his archaeologist thing is just a disguise.
Yeah.
And it's well, that...
There you go.
And it's well, what about Ui? She's my adopted daughter.
Yeah.
Just to keep,
That would... Well, no, because I love her, but...
Well, yeah, I love Ui too, but, oh, yeah, we did see her mom.
The fact that they chose to make Ui a YouTuber felt like absolutely nothing more than she's a trendy YouTuber! Isn't she relatable?
No, but I also, there was an episode where she was trying to, exploit them for her own personal channel, being Ryusoulgers. I feel like they should have dived more into that as, a fun filler arc.
Absolutely.
Where it's they, kind of hate on her for, trying to expose them, for her own personal gain, and then she gets upset and depressed about it, but then later on they go to her and they're well, it's okay if you make videos about us, just don't do us as the Ryusoulgers, do us.
I mean, they were never really that strict about keeping their identities secret.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, I think that would have been...
Don't film videos of us just for the sake of filming videos.
Yeah, you're making money off of us saving the world.
I also never got over why they were freeloading at Ui's place the whole show.
Oh, okay. It's just, you're my friends, you have nowhere else to go... My dad can let you stay here. They were just being nice.
And that's fine because she's a naive child, but at some point the father should have gone, okay, you guys are eating a lot of food and using up our utilities. Can you you guys are super human.
You're all adults.
Get jobs.
Yeah, and which maybe they should have done what other Sentai do, in Kyoryuger where Kyoryu Pink works at the cafe where their base is hiding.
They could have had a really charming episode about each of them going to find a job that they're best at.
And it's also just the fact they're not from the town. So
and it could have been also at the same time an episode about them learning about human society.
Yeah, and you don't have to do the whole thing oh, what's this? It's a phone. Oh, I don't know. No, you don't have to do that, but at least see them more integrate into society.
The sage who just sort of vanished into a cafe and then...
Ultraman Jack.
That character perfectly symbolizes the fact that the show set up so much and then only followed up on it a couple of times.
I'm sorry, I think that is solely just because of the actor.
Probably.
Simply, he doesn't really need to work.
Yeah.
Super High Productions gives him so much alimony.
Yeah.
It's oh, here's your Ultraman Jack paycheck. Thank you. So why did they, why get a big actor? He's probably a famous actor. Why get him if you're not really going to use him?
To hook people like you who watch Ultraman.
That's probably it. But, yeah, that is...
So, now that we've shit all over Ryusoulger, Tom, since I know you are quite an advocate for the show, please tell us your thoughts on the plot and the show in general about what we've talked about.
I think I'm good.
Are you sure, man?
Yeah.
I know you're.
No,
I know it's.
Tom,
I don't know. I feel that every
I
time
know it's tough for you to express your opinions when they're different from other people's, but the point of the show is gathering people with different perspectives and different mindsets so we can explore and provide a more well-rounded opinion in general. So I understand that sharing your opinion is difficult when we disagree with you, but I hated Zio the whole show, but I still spouted all of my thoughts out. So please tell us what you liked about Ryusoulger.
I actually like Truthful. So.
Sorry, go ahead.
I thought that it was a fun show. I thought that the characters were really interesting and well developed. The fights were amazing. The Zords looked really cool. I enjoyed the episodes. I enjoyed that a lot of it. Even the filler for the long filler didn't feel as much like filler as it could have been. Like they were trying to be interesting. I had a lot of fun with it, and the thing is, like, I never had a time during it where I was like, oh, I don't want to watch it. Whenever I would download Zero-One and this, I would watch this first. And for today, I didn't think I'd have enough time to watch everything. I said, fuck Zero-One, I'm going to watch the... even though it's the last episodes, but still.
Yeah.
Because, well, this week I didn't have a lot of time.
Well, we made time for you to catch up on Zero-One.
But I mean, this series, like, I think a lot of people gave it crap because of the bad start, and they and it just, yes, Mooncaster, it could have been more, but I think that sometimes some shows aren't enough. Sometimes shows are as good as they get. And I don't think it's in any ways bad. I don't think there's anything bad about it. I mean that it's just not as good as it could have been.
I will agree with you on a few points. This show's strongest point is its characters, because they had a lot of... I don't know about everyone individually, but I think they had really good chemistry together.
They did. They were a great team, I think.
This was good acting.
Yeah, the actors themselves were great.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other... I would put this at the second best thing the show did is its out-of-suit fighting. Every episode, just about every episode, had great out-of-suit fighting.
It felt like a Power Rangers without a suit fighting. And ironically, that gives them lots of time to cut. They don't have to cut anything out. They just have to cut out that out-of-suit fight to put in their out-of-suit fight.
The fighting was pretty good.
Right?
And yeah, the plot, they kind of sputtered it, but I found that once it kicked in, I liked it. I thought that it made sense. I thought that it felt unique. And I felt that, they were going for quality, not quantity. But because they didn't have much time left. And I admit that this show, I was pretty pissed off with it at the beginning because I expected more, but it won me back. And I feel that it was a good show. I will remember it fondly. And I'm adding one of the Ryusoulgers to my ultimate dream team, and that one is Ryusoul Pink.
Oh.
Asuna is my Pink Ranger because she's amazing.
It's all about Bamba, baby.
Bamba's okay, but
Bamba was
he's no gauche.
So okay, so let's talk about the individual characters now. Actually, before we do that, Emily, I'm very sorry. Please tell us your thoughts on the show as a whole in general.
No, it's okay. For some reason, today I just have the worst timing when it comes to thinking of things. So I kept accidentally either interrupting or being blank for long periods of time.
Unfortunately, that's going to happen when you're over Discord. That's why
I know, and I apologize to both you guys and the listeners for that. It was never intentional. It was always like, this comes up at this point, and it was either like crickets or I accidentally interrupted someone.
This is why we're best when we're all in the same room. Anyways, please proceed with your thoughts.
Yeah. I like Ryusoulger. I unfortunately have to say it's the only dinosaur-themed Sentai I've seen, so I can't compare it to the other ones, aside from the obvious Power Rangers being also based off of one of the dinosaur-themed Sentais originally.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the Japanese Sentai for the other dino seasons as well, but of course Gar has that, and that's why we love it.
But I was fine with it. Like, I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was, like, ridiculously amazing. I thought it was a good show. It was fun. Like, I don't really understand the people saying it was, like, grating to watch or, like, annoying or anything like that. It never felt that way once to me. It just felt like it existed. It was good.
And that is unfortunately the problem with as a collective fandom, per se, when someone doesn't like a thing in a fandom, it's usually a sheeple thing, or like a universal hive mind that if you don't like it, everyone doesn't like it. But in which that is unfortunately one of the major problems of loving a franchise.
As somebody who is a legitimate fan of Kamen Rider Ghost and sort of had to, like, people tried to convince me I only liked it ironically, but I actually like it.
Exactly. And it's also like how I like Kamen Rider Wizard, even though I know Ichi here, you didn't really like Wizard, did you?
I liked Wizard's designs. Its story was kind of hollow, but I liked how what story it had made all of the Monsters of the Week have some significance.
I also, Wizard was a little hollow. The suit looked great. But ironically, I was chatting with somebody who I didn't know was a Rider fan, and they were talking about, like, Japan's problematic history with trans characters. And they brought up Kamen Rider Wizard as being the first time they've ever seen in a Japanese tokusatsu show somebody standing up for a trans character. Because one of the villains, when they're attacking the donut stand, says, "Out of the way, dude." And Wizard says, corrects it, says something, or no, so it's like, "You're in the way, man." It's like, she's, or something, he corrects it, basically, says she. And the thing is, through the whole, if you think back, he always refers to that character as she, and by the name.
And plus, in one of the movies, we found out that when that character was younger, she was, like, a female superheroine.
Yeah, but the thing is, that is a transgender woman. And in Japan does like to make fun of transgender characters, or hypersexualize them. So I liked that, off topic, that was the, I will always respect Wizard for that, and I will forgive the fact that he couldn't pronounce his own name.
For me with Ryusoulger, it's just, from the beginning, this show didn't click with me. Like, I know I bought the Morpher and the Zords and stuff at first, but that was just because I was trying to force myself to get hyped into the show.
I've mounted my sword on the wall.
And I couldn't. And when we got an announcement that it was dinosaurs, that kind of went, really again? We already have 2 other dino shows. 3 other ones. And it just felt like it was going to be a Kyoryuger knockoff, and thankfully it wasn't really. But I already have my favorite series, which is ToQger, and I have my favorite team, which is the Pat Rangers, and that was another thing. I was still missing Lupin Pat very much so after we just finished that show.
That was a very strong.
And I wanted more of that show. And the fact that we're also Ryusoulger's the next show to be adapted in Power Rangers, that just also disappoints me.
You know why? I figured out why. I literally figured out why. Okay, so they're doing Go Busters now, and Go Busters has a movie that came out during their run, which is like to promote Kyoryuger. They had a big dino team up, and they're like, well, we've already done that, the one that it teams up with, but this movie's awesome. This movie has a big team up. We wanted to bring back Austin St. John, and they're like, well, the one currently airing is Dinosaurs, and it's right up your alley. What if, instead of using it to launch Kyoryuger, because that series was like 3-4 series ago, why don't we use it as a dinosaur lead-in to launch our Ryusoulger? So I think it's all, as you saw that in that advertisement for for the New Rangers, they really sell up that movie, that team-up movie from Go Busters.
Yeah. But that's only going to be like a 20-minute episode.
Yeah, but they're really, it's how they're launching the new series. Their tentpole is, hey, dinosaurs. So it's like, I think that they have that movie. They bought it. They have the current right to use it with all of the... And it links in because the Go Busters are in it.
I just think it's absolutely hilarious that they, for some reason, chose not to reveal the name of the series and just went with Power Rangers Season 28.
Who knows?
That's just going to be what it's called.
We could probably guess it.
Dino Knights.
Like 10, Dino Knights.
Yeah.
It's probably...
I hope it is, so I can make dinosaurs jokes all year.
Dino Knights.
Dino Knight ready!
But like Ryusoulger, it had cool things about it, and like I don't hate the show. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's great either. It was just meh for me. So like, I if I didn't watch it again, that's fine with me.
It's also,
but anyone who loves the show, like you, Tom, that's awesome. And I'm glad you found some great things to love about it.
I love Ghost.
Bamba is the one thing I took from this. My least favorite thing, honestly, like overall in this entire show's entirety, Ryusoulger Gold. I think he's the most disappointing Sixth Ranger we've had in Sentai, period.
I'll
because
agree.
You know why? Because he was not different. He was not different from any of the other members of the team. He was exactly like another Ryusoulger.
He had a hint
exact same suit, exact same henshin
He had a
sequence.
hint of a character arc and some development that he went through and then went right back to square one.
That's why the greatest example for me is Star Ninja, because yes, he was a ninja, but he was a ninja cowboy. He had a hamburger morpher, and his sword was a fucking
Kanalo have? He's
bison
from under the sea.
buggy that turned into a cowboy robot. That was fucking badass, but he was still different from the other ninjas.
All Kanalo had that was different was he was from under the sea, and he had a gun instead of a sword.
So, like, I'm sorry I'm getting so heated up about this, but, like, since we ever saw Soul Gold, he was just...
It's such a shame, because I fucking love the Ryusoulger Gold suit. Okay, so Emily, any other thoughts on the series as a whole before we move into character discussion?
No.
I think that something I'm sorry if this sounds weird, but I feel like it changed its rules a little too often, especially with the way the villains worked. But then I realized that doesn't that happen in like every Sentai?
What?
Where they
villain status quo changes are not uncommon. I mean, look at Major Ranger. They changed villains like 2 or 3 times.
3 times.
I gotta wait. No, we're gonna start character because are we gonna do Ko first? Because I got a great Ko thing.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Any other thoughts on the series in general?
From anyone?
From you. I just want to make sure you've said your piece.
I unfortunately don't know if I have too much to say, and I fear that's going to make people think I thought it was bad. But if it was bad, I would have a lot of things to say about like it being bad. But I don't. I'm sort of like, it was the show.
That's fine. Neutral opinions are okay.
I enjoyed watching the show. I actually felt kind of like everyone was being too harsh on it for most of it.
That's fine. If you enjoyed it, that's the best thing to ask for.
Yeah.
I enjoy lots of things that other people think are bad, like Sword Art Online.
But I don't know if I'd watch it again, but I'm glad I watched it one time.
I'm going to watch it again next week with Tasha. She's got to finish watching the series. It's her first live Sentai since becoming a fan.
As opposed to non-live Sentai?
No, I mean like watch week to week.
Watching it while it's on.
She fell behind.
Okay.
Like
to use a term from Tokusatsu Gaga, her first real time.
Yeah. Gaim was my first one that I followed weekly.
And mine was Ghost, which is why I liked it so much. It was the first one I ever saw.
And the thing is, like, as much as I have some serious problems with it, I will always love ToQger because that was when I started watching week to week.
Mine was Kiva.
Go Busters.
Mine was almost Kiva.
If we're talking just Sentai, mine would be Gokaiger.
All right, so we're slipping into.
All right, let's talk characters.
I would like to talk about Ko, which I call one of the greatest Red Rangers in recent history that we didn't deserve. You know why he was so great? He wasn't perfect. Ko is the most flawed Red Ranger I can think of. He has anger problems, a lot of self-doubt. He makes bad decisions. He's trusting. He's gullible. He literally makes mistakes. But yet he still pulls through to be a good leader. A leader that is not, follow me, he's more like, I'm going to inspire you to do your best. And though he had a bit of Red Ranger syndrome where he got the power-ups first, but he shared the power-ups. Like, he was the first person to be like, you know what, Canalo? You're fucking dog shit, but here, take the Ryusoulger caliber. Hey, you want to try where you want to try? He would literally be the first person.
He gave Bamba the Maramara armor, the first power-up he ever got.
Yeah, he literally you know what I would say that he is, that very few Red Rangers are? Humble.
Yeah.
He would take a hit.
Willing to admit he was wrong, yeah.
Yeah, he would take a hit, like, to his reputation and his general pride to get the job done. He would, like, he had the self-sacrifice, but a lot of them, unless we're not talking about Kari. Kari had no self-sacrifice. He was just fucking broken. That's why I love him. Lupin Red.
Kyrie.
Ko was interesting in that you know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of Geki from Zyuranger, who was like, I don't know if I'm fit to be a leader. But instead of letting... Now, Geki literally had moments where it's like, I'm not meant to be the leader. Ko had moments where he was like, I don't know what to do, help me.
Yeah.
And I think that he you always see that it's like a comic strip of a leader versus like a king, and you show this guy whipping some slaves building a pyramid, and then you see like the leader, and you show this guy pushing it with them. Yeah, the boss thing. This guy isn't their leader. He's their, or he isn't their boss. He's their leader. And the thing is he will get the job done even if he's not the one to do it. And you look at the end. How many times have we seen a Super Sentai end with the Red Ranger fucking powerhousing it? Yeah. It's proving I'm so powerful. He was powerhousing it, and he realized it wasn't enough, and he did the sacrifice play. Because he knew that no matter what happens to him, he's not the strongest Ryusoulger. They're all the strongest Ryusoulger. And so it wasn't about him. And when he was inside, Hellenheim, he was kind of chill. You notice how chill he was in Hellenheim? Yeah. He was like, my friends are still out there. They don't need me.
They got this.
Like,
well, I'll logic the enemy to death.
Yeah. And I mean, his power wasn't overpowering the enemy. His power was just knowing how things work and how much he had faith in his friends. And so I would guess I would call him, the fact that he's humble. He is, and the thing is, look at Kairi from, who I love him. He's my Red. I love him to death. But he was very much almost infallible. He was perfect. He was always one step ahead.
Yeah.
Pato Red was a loner. He had no teamwork ability. Go back to Lucky. Lucky was a fucking Mary Sue. He was invincible. Have these think of King. Think of how many Red Rangers can you think of that were fucking superheroes that took that took the stage. Even when he had an episode that was his fucking episode, it was more about his relationships with other people. When he had his fucking rage, his rage quit, it was more about him learning how to protect somebody who needs him. And the thing is, you might think, oh, well, he's not memorable. No, it's because he's not about him. He is a real leader. And I will always respect Ko.
You actually bring up some excellent points that I hadn't considered.
I think...
Now, yeah. I won't defend all the characters. I won't defend Canalo. I won't defend Sonic the Hedgehog. I can't remember his fucking name.
Melt?
No, I won't defend Melt. I won't defend Green.
Did you just call him Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, because he's got to go fast. That's his thing.
That's what you should call the Green Ranger,
though. In this thing, I would say that Asuna, Bomba, and Ko are the best characters. And some of the best moments of the series is not when they're doing something alone, is when they're interacting and going outside of their archetype.
Yeah.
Now, Melto, I make fun of... Oh, yeah,
we'll get into each one, but we're going to go around
and that's me talking about Ko.
I want to know why he has blue hair.
Guard, do you have any thoughts on Ko? Sorry.
Ko, compared to Kairi and
Keiichiro?
Yeah, Keiichiro. He is very different, in which I do enjoy him. There is the fact that he doesn't really like Tom was mentioning about how good of a leader he is. Though I distinctly remember him acknowledging that he doesn't refer to himself as a leader.
Yeah.
Because I remember one episode, Nada's like, all right, you're the leader. What should we do? He's like, I don't consider myself the leader.
Yeah.
We're just all equal.
Because he's humble. But yet, doesn't he bring the best out of everybody?
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't think he's the leader, but he acts like the leader. And I mean not that he's giving commands, that he is motivating the people around him to do better.
Yeah.
Also, he's got some of the best badass moments. Sort of jump back in. Remember fucking Angry Ko showing up and wrecking house?
Yep.
That was my favorite moment of him in the series.
Your favorite comment?
My favorite comment was him just Angry Ko, and even I think it was Waizu was like, hey, come on, this is my episode. You can't be that cool.
Lane?
I'm gonna be very quick because I actually have to go to bed now because I work in early morning, unfortunately. So
then give us your everyone.
Okay, yeah, sorry guys. So Ko, not a bad red. He actually had a lot of cool moments that I really enjoyed about him, and like
moments.
He was very fun. He's still not Keiichiro to me because Keiichiro's
no one can be
the
Keiichiro.
man.
Well, that's Angry Cat the red.
Mel fucking sucked. Like he tried to be like this cool, strong, smart character, but like in the end, it was just. Like, he just, I don't know.
Mel was the awkward teen.
He just didn't seem to get that much development at all.
Okay, like, we'll all get our chance.
We'll go one at
a Sorry.
That's okay. Asuna, strong female, I think. She was really fun. Like, I know she talked about eating, but, like, whatever. That was just her fun trait about her, and I thought she was really cool, and she was very emotional, especially by the end. Bamba, what can I say? He speaks for himself. I talked about Bamba nonstop. My hype about him was all too real. So I will keep my vinyl figure of him in memory.
Until the Lightning Collection figure comes out.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm excited for about Ryusoulger being adapted to Power Rangers. We'll get a proper Bamba merch. So, Toa, little shitbag. I like honestly like 4 times he used the same character development about like using more than just your speed to fucking fight 4 times. Like, 3-4 times he went through that same development. Canelo.
You already said your piece.
I've already said my piece of Canelo. Well, that was just like Resold Golden Joke.
Any of the side characters or villains?
Tatsui, he just fell flat. He was
sometimes literally.
He was that dad who's tried way too hard to do dad jokes. Yeah. And it's like, all right, we get it. We get it.
Get it, your dad.
Ooey, fucking adorable as shit. I wish she was in the show more. I'm sad she had to leave because her actress wasn't feeling well. So hopefully in like a crossover movie or the V Cinema, if we get one, she shows up more.
I'm kind of worried for her because usually the adage, like if she was just like for example, like somebody from one of the other shows I watched, like she had something that said, oh, she had this happened to her. But when they said has fallen ill, that's usually it is too bad for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the villains
or pregnant.
Villains, they're alright.
We're pregnant.
Weren't that impactful for me. Like Wizuru was probably the funnest thing. Crayon was adorable. Tencho, Gachaleus, Yabasor, Precious, all of them, Master Black was cool. Wise One didn't get enough of, and Set, I feel like they could have wrote him a lot better. So, and Nada, what can I say? We miss you, buddy.
Come back from Miami.
Nada was fun, yeah. Come back from Miami.
I can't believe
I know Disney
family...
World's cool, Universal Studios. That
family in joke is now a thing that you talk about.
Yeah, so that's my overall thoughts. Ryusoulger, it was okay. I'm excited to see what Kira Major is going to be. I don't know who my favorites yet is going to be yet, so I'm actually happy. Hoping for Blue, because Blue kind of looks fun.
Oh my god. I just thought of something you need to have in the screen grab for at some point for Kira Major. If you turn it around backwards, it's Major Kira.
Oh my god, we need one of the thumbnails will just be all Major Kira's head.
Her head's Major Kira. That's what we should call it. Instead, it's the new soup. It's Major Kira.
I love Major Kira.
Anyway, all right. What character are we doing next?
Emily, did you have thoughts on Ko?
Ko, honestly, I think that Savage said everything. He just, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I don't hear her.
I don't hear her either.
I hear her.
Oh, because I'm disconnected.
Yeah, because the Wi-Fi disconnected.
Is everything okay?
No, go ahead. Everyone will reconnect. That explains why Lane was interrupting you earlier.
Oh, okay. I guess so. I didn't intend that, but
go ahead.
I think that he's right that a big part of why he was a good leader was that it showed him screwing up a lot, but not to the point where it seemed like he couldn't get through it. It was always he got a lot of development, like a surprising amount of development. And I know you're thinking like the main character always gets a lot of development, but like substantial stuff like changed about him, but he also still retained his core of who he was the whole time.
Yeah.
And that is something that is like, it's much harder than it sounds if you watch a lot of shows and realize that they have characters either never learn anything ever or completely change who they are.
Yeah.
but he was a good balance, I think.
Can you do the thing again? Every time I disconnected it.
Yep, hold on. Apologies as we fix the thing. Burp, there we go. Okay, that's all you got for Ko?
Yeah, I think that everything he said would blow anything I could say out of the water, and Dari sort of says everything I wanted to say.
Basically, what you said sort of gave me a fresh look at Ko, and you're actually pretty correct on that. What I was going to say is that I felt like he was a very naive and over-relaxed sort of Red Ranger, because, like, I feel like he smiled way too much. But after what you said about how he was always inspiring everyone else to do their best despite never really considering himself a leader, I think that's actually very well put.
Weirdly John Egbert-esque.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, main character of Homestuck. Sorry.
I only know one thing about Homestuck.
Can you?
And that's Dave had a really rough ride.
He did, but so did everyone else.
I asked somebody to tell me a anecdote to something to say about Homestuck so I can pretend that I read it. And that's what they told me. They said, just say Dave had a really tough ride.
Fun. But yeah, I won't say he's my favorite Red. While he was definitely a good person and a good member of the team, unfortunately that doesn't always translate to entertaining. And while he was a good character and a good Sentai member, I wouldn't call him entertaining, because like as much of a selfish character as people like Kairi and Keiichiro were, they were always exciting to watch, and that's kind of more what I'm here for. You know what I mean?
Almost like Bomba has that role that he most Reds take, the you can't look away from him, you know, like larger than life character.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into Melt. Holy crap, man, they were absolutely trying to make him the smart one beyond any shadow of a doubt, but man, did they, in my opinion, not live up to that. He maybe had a couple of plans that turned out well, but there were so many times where he was just like, I don't know what to do!
He, unfortunately, is definitely the weakest Ranger of the series.
You know what? I wouldn't even, as much as I just shouted him, I wouldn't put him there because I feel like Toa had even less development.
They're equal, I would say.
Melt was borderline interesting. I can't hold anything against him. Ironically, he making like Tiramigo constantly making fun of him kind of made him more interesting to me. There's nothing wrong with Melt. Melt is like a
unremarkable, like
an O. Henry.
Yeah.
Meaning that you never go into like shit. I need an O. Henry. But if somebody says, "Hey, do you want some O. Henry?" We're like, "Yeah, I can eat an O. Henry."
That's
He's
such
the O.
a
Henry.
weird comparison, but like I can't say it's not true.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's kind of like, but the thing is, he, by the fact that he looked the most unique out of them, kind of gave that to him. But I mean, like,
yeah, like he came into the scene like, "Ooh, look, I have blue hair. I'm mysterious. Don't you want to know my story?" And then they never explained it.
Never told us.
Yeah.
They even went so far as to have Oto ask him about the blue hair, and then there's an explanation for that.
But I mean, it's just, he's okay. He's just okay. That's where I'm going to leave it. He's just okay.
All right.
We'll eventually get the Melt movie
that's
where
where I'm leaving it. You can
entirely
put it
about his
anywhere.
blue hair.
All right. Asuna.
Oh, I have so much time for Asuna.
Then let me get into it quickly. Asuna just didn't click for me. Just, she's super strong. Okay, and then just, again, I have already talked about it to death when we do episodes, but just her and the whole food thing.
It felt like that was the well they went to way too often.
The stick got old.
Unfortunately, female characters kind of don't get much thought put in them as they should. And it felt like that was the well they ran dry.
Like, it was like every other episode. Where's Asuna? Oh, there she is with a bunch of groceries and food.
Oh no, my food got destroyed. Now I'm angry.
No, mi torta.
I feel like she's so much of a defense for Asuna Bruin right now.
The
Sadly,
thing is,
never got a no mi torta moment.
How excellently her character was acted in the last two episodes. Feel like she should have had more to build up to that.
It felt like there was more.
It's like, okay. All right, now fucking nail the ending.
Asuna is the strongest member of the team, hands down. Because
She has
even
an emoji
Bomba
heart.
has had give-up moments, and I don't mean physical strength. I mean, whenever in this series, when they're at their worst, she is the first person to try to rally them. She never gives in to despair. She is always ready for a second round. And she has some of the best out-of-suit fighting of any of them. Asuna, her strength isn't her physical strength. Her strength isn't her awesome character development. Her strength is her perseverance. She is a character that I will like, whenever there's a bad shit happening and I'm worried about the characters, I'm never worried about Asuna because I know she's fucking got it. She is a lot of people say that the Reds are the heart of the team. She's not. She's the fucking backbone of the team. She's the unbreakable woman who, no matter how bad shit gets, she will pick people up. And you'll notice, like, when Ko got turned, to Angry Ko, or there was a problem with Bomba and Sonic, or whenever there's some kind of shit, she was the first person to come in and be like, can I help you?
Yeah.
She is incredibly selfless. She gave up character development so other people could have it.
That's an interesting way to put it.
She literally is the strong woman that team did not deserve.
Sure.
And I found that the moments of when she went out there and showed her strength, like in the last 2 episodes, or when she was trying to cheer Ko up, or whenever she had these little moments, they were so potent. They were the best emotional performances of the show.
Yeah.
So the fact that, unfortunately, her gimmick... Now, the thing is, like, look at Melt's gimmick. He's the smart guy. He's got the blue hair. Her gimmick was underplayed, but her character was... I'm going to say, if defense of Ko is that he's a humble character, she is a subtle character. She is... At no point of the show... Like, she had her fucking eyes sewed shut, and she still had fists. Her hands were in fists. She was going to punch somebody.
Yeah.
She literally... is, I would say, the most indomitable of the characters. She's not the strongest physically, even though she technically is in combat, but she is the strongest willed. She never gives up. And you notice in the last 2 episodes, when shit hit the fan, Canal was fucking crying on the floor. Even Ko is like, I don't know what to do. She's like, guys, fuck this. We're gonna fuck up. We're gonna go fuck Helen up so bad that her, kids are gonna miss their soccer game.
We're gonna make her coupons expire.
Yeah, we're going to make her pay retail.
She's Helen, not Karen.
Asuna,
same thing.
Asuna was just, I found she was also the most consistent character, meaning that her personality was the same all the way through. Whereas some of the characters kind of went up and down, depending on what was going on. She was also had that background. The fact that she ate a lot, I had no problem with that. The fact that one time her fear of her getting fat from eating a lot, that I had a problem with.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Asuna had a fucking monster wrap around her heart. She was the first person to say, if you need to fucking kill me, do it.
Yeah.
Like, even when she had episodes where she was in trouble, she was the first to persevere. Wasn't she also one of the first people to beat the fucking challenge on top of the mountain? Like, she saw fucking right through it?
I don't remember exactly, but that's...
I don't know. Asuna was a badass Pink Ranger that deserved to be recognized, but there wasn't enough screen time to make everybody notice it. But the thing is, they thought we wouldn't notice she's awesome. I noticed.
They thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
I unfortunately am having connection issues, so I am just... Guess this is where I tap out as well.
Is this like an elimination?
Yeah, what the hell? It's last caster standing?
Yeah.
Do you want to give your thoughts on anyone else before you go?
Toa was...
What's his name?
Toa, I was hoping to be my favorite. But unfortunately...
You're wearing a green shirt right now.
I don't know. It's actually new. But he didn't really do much for me. And as much as you guys love the crap out of Bomba, he was also just kind of, unfortunately, just eh. It didn't help. Like, they're brothers. Okay, that's cool, but it never... much like a lot of them for me, unfortunately, they just didn't go anywhere.
2 brothers in a...
Like, they didn't really...
2 brothers who are actual brothers.
Like, they didn't...
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to say it.
There wasn't enough, like, brother team-up play.
Exactly. It felt more like student like student and mentor.
Yeah.
Like Towa's the
Towa
student.
was like the excitable little dog that Bamba, the big dog, adopted.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking comic strip, the big dog and the little dog. It's all over Facebook.
But yeah.
What more brother on brother action?
I wanted from this? I wanted Ultraman Rube interactions.
That's your answer to everything.
Ultraman?
You're like Cup from Transformers. Everything reminds you of an Ultraman thing.
Have you not listened to Ultra Ranger? Half of what I say is that. This reminds me of.
What about this? I've never seen anything like that before.
Anything? This reminds you of anything, Cup?
Nope. You know what I thought? You know what I'm getting out of these character things? It was the characters that are best, the ones that made the most out of how little they had to work with.
That's fair.
Speaking of little, the villains, unfortunately, are the weakest link for me for this show. Even with the whole reveal with Precious at the end. Being like, oh, we're just going to come and invade and such. With me, you need to have a good villain to keep, at least for me, to keep it interesting. Because the heroes have to have something to bounce off of. The monsters of the week weren't really that interesting simply because they didn't speak. Like, they did speak, but it was
they
like...
were Pokemon.
Yeah, they were Pokemon.
Cake!
I want to die.
I want to die.
Oh, yeah,
but,
that. Oh,
like,
man.
None of them were like, well, why should I listen to you? I have free will. But it's like, we didn't get any... Which is why I think Lupin Pat had the better...
Yeah.
Had the better villains, because at least...
Oh, the Ganglers were pretty good.
Oh, yeah, they were so vivid.
And, yeah, they were vivid, and, like, they were creative. These guys are just... Big, mean monster.
Like, I don't know if I get the names, but I could describe you personalities of at least fucking 10 of those guys.
We put holes in teeth.
We put holes in teeth.
Like it's basically...
You look like a phone!
I saw that clip.
You look like a phone.
And the others have this look at it, we were all thinking.
Yeah. But Ryusoulger, I would go back to at least once to watch it all as a whole. 'Cause a lot of people don't really know this, but there's a difference from watching something from week to week to watching the entire thing at once.
Do you think it might be Forza a little bit? Like, you know how Forza at the time it was week to week, people shat all over it. Now people look back at Forza like it was amazing.
Because your opinion changes when you when you have the entire story.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't like ToQger while I was watching it halfway through, but then I gave up on it, and then I finished watching it like in one go, and I'm like, this show was really good. Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyone else you want to speak about? Side characters? Nada, Tatsui's?
Nada was interesting because, again, he changed the status quo. Ui, this is shocking to hear, but just physically, I was in love with her. Just, she was very adorable, and she literally stole my heart. I kind of wish...
went to America.
And then she left me for America. I kind of wish she had somewhat more of a character development, but she is the comic relief character. They usually don't get a lot of character development.
Except for the one episode very early where she almost committed suicide.
Yeah, that was weird.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, God, I actually
excited
forgot
for
about
Cure
that.
Major, and this was a good season 6 anniversary. 6-year anniversary. Nailed it.
Why don't you say it 6 more times?
All right, we should do it because while you're doing anything, I guess you don't have mic'd. That means Emily can't participate. So let's move on.
Okay. Well, while we have Emily, do you want to give your thoughts on? Do we want to just have each of us say our thoughts on the remaining characters then?
Yeah, it's
okay. Emily,
and then we can each come off because I'm getting kind of like.
Okay, so give us your as we eliminate more casters. Give us your thoughts on everyone.
So what is it? What is it you want? Like,
no, we should do them one at a time because we already did that, but just quicker.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Toa.
I think Toa had the least development out of everyone, and that's really saying something. He was just the boy who had to go fast. They never said why. He tried to learn other things besides going fast, and then went right back to going fast. He had an episode where he had a girlfriend, and after that episode, there was nothing ever on that avenue again. I feel like they gave him the smallest piece of the pie.
The problem,
I thought it was Mel.
Well, let me describe. I get him confused with Melt a lot when I'm talking about him, because they are interchangeable in every way other than their hair.
The difference being, in my perspective, is with Melt, they tried to give him development, and it just didn't do well. Toa, they just didn't give him anything.
Yep.
That's the difference.
He's I think the most boring character.
He was just here to go, Nissan, let's go fight the mooks.
Yep. Emily, what do you think about Toa? Well, you could go on for a bit if you want, but I mean, I don't think there's much to go on about Toa.
Yeah. Toa, I actually really liked his relationship with Ko near the beginning when he was first there. They had this sort of friendly rivalry thing going on, and then that sort of just disappeared.
I will say that he did impress me at the start, because usually when we have these shows where it's a set of 3 Rangers and a set of 2 Rangers, usually they're conflicting with each other for much longer than this show did. Toa surprised me with how amicable he was at the start of the show. It's like, oh, hey, look, other Ryusoulgers, we should team up, yeah!
He started out strong and then didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked it when they were 2 separate little groups. That was neat.
Well, those were some of the best dynamics, because they could tell a story from 2 angles. They didn't have to have the whole team run out. They were almost... He and Baba were like the scouts.
Yeah.
They were always first to the scene.
They were always like... The others have explained the setup for the episode. We're already fighting someone.
Yeah, and that was a great... I wouldn't call that character development. I would call that just a great, like, mechanic.
Brisk writing.
Yeah. Like, that was a shortcut that didn't come across as shortcutty.
Yeah.
Like,
whenever the writing needed to be brisk and move things along, they were the way they would do it. And that was actually very well handled, I
because
think.
they could because you could have a scene with the core ones kind of figure this stuff out, and then just literally transition to they're already there.
Yep.
They can establish something, and then you have something to do while the other characters are getting there.
Yep.
Now, the funny thing is, they didn't overuse that. Like, you could have been like, oh, well, this formula is they get their bits. They didn't overuse it.
It was not every episode.
It felt like they could, in fact, have probably used it a bit more and gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Well, let's bridge that into talking about our man Bomba.
Oh my god, breakaway star of the show by far.
I don't know how that happened, but...
But you know what the thing with Bomba? It's not the character. It is not the way they wrote him. It's the actor.
Yeah. He
is a beautiful man, inside and out. Just, he can convey so much emotion by just standing there. Like, it's one of these things where... and they knew it. They knew that they had fucking gold. Like, this guy, he'll be back. I guarantee you're going to see that actor.
They knew he was going to be the meme material.
Like, there's got to be some kind of, like, audition where he fucking comes in. And the things, look at him. He doesn't look like 3 otherwise.
I feel like we almost have confirmation in the form of the fucking jumping Bomba photograph in the wall in the last episode. But did they know that people were poking fun at that?
But it's like, it's Bomba, it's the actor was really fantastic, and the thing is, like, he made his character memorable. And he is the most memorable of the party because he's Bomba, because of that actor. And the thing is, if you had another actor play the same character, like all the same dialogue, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Exactly.
And the thing is, that guy, he doesn't look like a fucking ranger. He looks like he could be like one of the villains or something. Like, he's older looking, he's not pretty. Well, he
looks like an extra from Sinbad.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Bomba, he became a meme for us. Like, Lane, like, talks about Bomba like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the thing is as much as, Bomba's really, striking and awesome, and because the actor is great, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like, Bomba had very little story to do with himself.
I feel like the whole him and Master Black thing was a pretty decent
okay.
plot.
By the end, he got it. I would say that he had the least development. He just got a little nicer.
Yeah.
But again, it is just the charisma of that actor.
Like, but the thing is, he comes off as such a seasoned veteran that it feels like he's coming in already having gone through so much development. And then the whole thing with Master Black is like, here's what happened that made him the man he is.
Yeah, it's like we skipped out on the most interesting parts of his backstory. Like, we're getting him after he became awesome.
Yeah. And I think Bomba perfectly symbolizes what I've always said is my favorite thing about tokusatsu in general, is just the absolutely shameless juxtaposition between comedy and serious drama. Because Bomba, on first glance, looks like the stoic, serious character, and in many ways he is. But then he also has the funniest shit to do and say out of everyone.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, the joke that worked with him so much is that he's this stoic badass. So you put him in a situation where he's forced to be outside his comfort zone, he's comedy gold.
Exactly.
Like when he's like, Bomba, let's dance if I must.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like that whole thing where they keep putting like Arnold Schwarzenegger or fucking The Rock or whoever in like a movie with kids.
Yeah,
it's forced the stoic badass to be funny.
Yeah. Bomba is Jingle all the way.
Yeah, he pretty much is. He's like this guy who's had he's too old for this shit, and he's stuck with these like 5 fucking kids. Yeah. And he's got to it's like he's the Tooth Fairy, He's
got to drag the rest of his team through the toy store.
He's the babysitter that's had enough of this shit. It's Bomba's Adventures in Babysitting. That's what this is.
Emily, any thoughts on Bomba?
Bomba, he was a surprise. Like, at first he was just sort of there, but then you guys started memeing on him, and he started becoming an interesting thing.
Yeah. I can't hear Emily at all. Emily, say something.
Hello?
Are you in the voice channel?
I think so.
Yes.
It cut out a couple times and it stopped.
Let me see. Sorry for the tech problems, folks.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
It might be... yeah, you're there.
Maybe I should tap out?
Talk?
Hello?
You know what? I'm just gonna put you on speaker then. Fuck it.
Alright.
Okay, hold on.
Hello?
Okay, so go ahead. Sorry for the drop in audio quality, people, but it's getting late.
Yeah, I was saying maybe I should just tap out.
No, you can keep going.
Okay, if you're sure. Bomba, yeah, like you guys memed on him, and he became a lot more interesting with his whole being sort of the stoic guy, but also, not actually having really ridiculous moments like I'm gonna stab the Rock, and not Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but the Rock, the actual Rock.
Yeah.
And also just his weird insistence on just killing people was kind of scary.
And I'm gonna say it, Bomba was fucking hot.
Oh yeah, and they ripped his shirt up so consistently.
Not as hot as Ko though. I think I think Ko had that exotic vibe going on.
Oh.
No, Ko. I thought Ko had really nice. He had it's more pretty in the face, whereas Bomba had the hair. Bomba had, what Bomba is? Bomba's fucking like Super Sentai the Fawns, like he's this dark haired guy.
Danger.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish that you'd mentioned that before the show was
Bomba
over.
Fonzarelli. But
he just stabs the jukebox.
All right, who did we miss? Did we miss anybody? I don't think we missed.
Kanalo.
Anybody. Oh, fucking Kanalo.
Kanalo, I know you guys don't like him. I actually really thought he was interesting.
I feel like, and I know I've said this phrase a lot of potential that was not capitalized on.
No, he was like, if Toa would kept like, I need to learn how to beat something other than my speed. If that was a dead horse beaten, Kanalo beat a fucking dead rhinoceros. Like, it's like, I need to find a wife. He was for a guy from the Water Tribe, he was the thirstiest motherfucker I've ever seen.
Right?
Like, he needed to get his hand wet to talk to his Zord. He needed to get his dick wet to feel important.
That was clever.
It is clever. But the biggest problem with Kanalo is every character I figure gets one arc where they're like, I don't believe in us. I don't believe in what they're doing. And everyone had one, except for Asuna. Asuna never not believed.
Yeah.
But Kanalo, whenever he hit some kind of fucking setback, he would give up. How many times has Kanalo given up?
Too much.
Like, even in the fucking episode where he thinks he's fucking getting married and can't get inside that cake thing, he was like, I give up. And then everyone showed up was like, no, we're not going to let you give up. Like, he literally
and up until the last episode, the very last, second last actually, episode, he was still saying that he would give up and would
put me back in the Matrix.
I understand that philosophy a lot, but at the same time,
I figure that's an okay thing, but we are far too late in the series for one of our heroes, one of our strongest here. He is one of fight wise, he's one of the strongest Ryusoulgers. But he had the weakest will. He's the opposite of everything I said about Asuna.
One thing that he did in the show that kind of surprised me, but is also very, very Kanalo, is when he and Ko are in the temple of the Ryusoul Caliber, and the spirit asks him, which would you prefer, saving your friends or fulfilling your duty? And Kanalo says fulfilling his duty is more important than saving his friends. I'm just like, did this Super Sentai show for kids really just have one of our main characters go, fuck my friends, I'm here to do the thing?
He's, you know what, he's the kind of person, he picks the easier path instead of the harder but correct path. And I found as a character, he would have been better served if he, by the end, he has, you know what I realized? Yeah, he started out strong, he started interesting, he never got any development. Him at episode 1 of him appearing, I want to get a girlfriend, I don't really feel right about this whole war. On the end of the thing, I want to get a girlfriend, I don't feel right about this wall. Like, nothing about him changed. And nothing. He just got a cape.
Like, towards the middle of the show, it started to seem like he was warming up to, like, yeah, I'm going to help you guys defend the planet. And then, right in episode 47, it just came all crashing back to square one.
Maybe I need to put, me getting a wife on hold. Nope! He put that on hold for a hot minute. You can talk, Gar, you're allowed.
And then there's me, Tan.
Who we talking about?
Was there. Wait, that's his sister's name, right?
Oto.
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ! We didn't remember Oto.
See? That's how useless she was to the plot.
I disagree. She
did
had
nothing.
No, you know what she did? Because she's not a main character. She's an exposition character. She shows up at the right time to give them a piece of information and then slinks back. She is what is called fifth business. It is a character that is important to the movement of the plot, but is not the main character. She was never meant to be the main character, but the funny thing is, look at Oto, though, for the amount of screen time she got and how unimportant, I could tell you more about her personality than almost any of the other characters. She had a very defined personality, very defined backstory, very defined future goals, and she had some really great moments. I found that Oto was actually more interesting than any of the other characters other than Asano, Ko, or Bamba. And she's a character that gets so little screen time. She's got half the screen time Kanalo has, her brother, but does double the amount of fucking legwork.
I would say she has more of like quarter screen time.
But look at it. We have strong opinions on the things she has done. Meaning she does things. For a character who's in it a quarter amount as any of the other characters, she is one of the more memorable characters.
And I get it, like child actress.
I know, but I mean, I found her to be, literally, I wanted her to be like one of the Ryusoulgers. I felt that she was a reasonable...
I'm actually surprised they didn't.
Yeah, I felt that she was a reasonable character. She actually has more... Okay, so if you look at, you know how I said Kanalo didn't develop at all? Her at the beginning was very like, I don't care what you have, what you want, I want what I want, I'm very selfish, I don't really believe in this. And by the end, she was like, I like you guys. I'm here to help you.
As much as that was the impression given off, I feel like that was all ancillary to the fact that she wanted Melt.
Yeah, but like, I mean, she got a development, though.
She clearly wanted Melt, and I feel like being nice to everyone was for the purposes of that.
But I mean, if you put an episode of her first appearance with her last appearance, was she in the last episode?
For like a millisecond.
When they were doing archaeology and found Fox poop.
If you look at her last appearance, she's a different character because she's evolved. Kanalo did not. We're not talking a lot, but I mean, for a character who's barely in the show, and she's an exposition character.
I think the only time she experienced significant relevance and development is when P10. Yes, P10. That's exactly it.
No, there's more. What about the one where she steals the Ryusoul Caliber for a movie prop?
Yeah, and gets it.
That was a great.
Okay, you know what? I will say that was probably Oto's best episode.
Yeah, but I mean, she's got 2 good episodes. Most of these fuckers only have 1, if even.
That's fair. You know what? That's fair.
Like, I mean, for such a small character, I cared about her enough. You should, and the thing is, like, this is like for Ui. I don't give a shit. Like the actress, I hope she gets well. But the character, I never liked her.
Yeah, let's get into Ui. Oh my god, she was absolutely there to be nothing but, hey, look, I'm a trendy YouTuber. Relate to me, viewers. And then they just dropped her like a rock.
Yep.
A third into the show.
And the thing is, like, there wasn't any...
Long before she left for America.
Yeah, she was basically just like in the background to go, what's that? Like, she was...
I feel like there was so much potential that was not capitalized on. She could have been a vehicle over the course of the series for the Ryusoulgers who had been living in isolation to become acquainted with human society, and like I said earlier, lead into them seeking employment.
And it all happens off screen. And we didn't have an episode of, like, you know what they needed, and I know this is really, stereotypical of a lot of Sentais, is go out and get jobs.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you seen that, Gar? The Rangers try to get day jobs?
Very few, actually.
Well, it's happened a few times, but it's very memorable.
Well, it's very few because the majority of the time they just work at the place they're living at.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that would have been a great episode.
But that doesn't apply to this because they're just freeloading off of Ui in her garage.
Yeah, and it would have...
her dad's garage.
Like, imagine how great it would be, even a two-parter, where it would have been filler, but I would have liked it. Just because you would get to see another side of each of the characters.
You know what I think it is? Unfortunately, we have to remember that this is the show aimed for the very young audience, so a plot about getting jobs isn't exactly something kids want to see.
I know, but I think that it needed it, because that's the only way the payoff of her character would have happened.
Or at least rather, like, Japanese kids, because, like, they're already being crammed with, like, school and such. You don't want to remind a kid Sunday morning at 9 a.m., hey, work.
But the funny thing is, talking about the potential of Ui, I can't even picture it because we never got a taste of it. Yeah. It's because there's nothing else, like, everything about her is potential because we didn't get anything.
Yeah. I will say her dad, I think he served his purpose as nothing but a vehicle for gags, dad jokes, and funny bits.
I will put it, he's the actor and character that they got the most out of with the least they put into it.
He got the last joke in the show.
Yeah. But I mean, he literally...
I swear to God, if you told me that they had just told him to improv 100% of his lines, I could believe it.
It's just, as I said, like, they gave him very little to work with. He had very little plot of it. Like, even the fact that he was their fucking reincarnated fucking, dude.
Upset.
They never understood how that happened.
He wasn't reincarnated.
Or he, like...
The soul of Set had, like, chosen to rest inside of Tatsui.
But I mean, again, it's the Bomber thing. That actor made a really bit part into something that you'll probably remember that character.
Yeah.
Who else do we got? Villains. Let's talk about them all together, because they're not important enough to break into pieces.
Unfortunately, the Minosaurs...
The Minosaurs are probably my least favorite monsters of the week of any Sentai I've ever seen.
They were very inconsistent.
One shot, they were Pokemon, they grew big with no reason, they were complete... The only thing about the Minosaurs that was interesting was Crayon. The fact that they were birthed by Crayon.
Crayon and Wizul carried that fucking half of that show.
They are some of the most interesting, funny, and compelling Sentai villains I've seen in some time.
But they could have worked really good if there was just more villains. Like, if they were just the comic relief villains, that would be fine. But when they're just the only villains
for like a fucking quarter of the series, they're holding down the ship.
Yeah, the problem with the Druidons is that they're few and far between, and, like, sure, at the end they explained what their deal was, but that doesn't excuse the fact that, like, it was almost they were almost a non-entity.
You know what gets me?
Like, the content of the show was Crayon spawning Minosaurs. Why were the Druidons really even here?
You know what has got me?
That's a good point.
Did you ever watch, like, an old show and they've got, like, 3 villains? Like, Thundercats, for example, had, like, 3 fucking villains. And there were, like, 7 Thundercats at one point.
There's 4 of them. What? There's Mamra and the 3 mutants.
Yeah, but how many Thundercats are there, just base Thundercats?
Like 5.
Can any of the non-Mamra characters stand up to any, other than not the 2 young ones? But you're talking Tiger in a stand-up fight can't beat Vulture-Man? But I always thought, they know where Mum-Ra fucking sleeps, and he's a fucking mummy half the time. Why don't the Thundercats just roll up and wreck house?
They don't know where he lives.
Yeah, they do.
He's on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, but they know. But they could have just rolled up. Well, if he can come there, they can go here. But I mean, like, why don't they just or wait till they all come out, jump them all at once, fucking fight? They wait for them to hatch a plot. So what bothered me about Thundercats was, why don't they just fucking wreck him? Whereas this felt like that. At one point, it's just Wizul and Crayon, and there's fucking 6 of these assholes. Why don't they just... And there's so many times that Wizul and fucking Crayon would just fucking standing off to the side of the Minosaur and like, walk over, just tell the Minosaur to hang on a hot minute and go fucking capture Crayon. I know he's indestructible. Capture Crayon and kill Wizul. and you fucking... I know there's more guys coming, but it just seems like that... They didn't know that. They're probably like... At no point did it occur to them, hey, the fucking 2 comic relief guys are holding down the house. Why don't we just fucking wreck those 2 guys and we, take a vacation for 2 weeks?
Unfortunately, that gets chalked up to a thing that is prevalent throughout pretty much all of tokusatsu, if not so much, like, shonen boys, drama, fiction, whatever you want to call it. Villains and heroes almost never, ever go, you know what, let's just go to their base and kill them. We know where they live. Because, unfortunately, that would end the show early.
Yeah, and it just... Well, you know what the best way to put it is? You ever seen a fight scene where, like, a couple of heroes are fighting a bunch of numpties? And ironically, Super Sentai works very hard not to do this. When you see a couple of guys off to the side and they're fucking kind of like in their idle animation waiting for their turn to fight.
Yeah.
And it's just... And ironically, Super Sentai does this amazing thing where they just have them kind of always moving, so you don't see them standing around. Yeah. You'll notice that mooks that are not currently being fight, they look like they're trying to run around back. Yeah. Or they look like they're trying to go around the other side.
They're waiting their turn.
Yeah, but they're doing something while waiting their turn.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, it feels like this plot is them waiting to fight. It's like, okay, hey, Waizool, I got an idea for a Minosaur. Well, I'm kind of busy now. I'm watching my stories. Could we do it on Wednesday? What about the Ryusoulgers? Oh, they're going to a soccer match. They're fine. Like, it's like... it's funny thing is, like...
It feels like Sam and, like, the dog and the coyote from that one Looney Tunes cartoon.
Well, the thing is, I know it's a weekly show.
Like, they're just clocking in for work.
But I know this is a weekly show, but if you kind of look at the plot, like, this is about a month of their life. It's not a year. They were However, it feels like a year. It feels like the Ryusoulgers are really only fighting one monster a week, and the rest of the time they're just fucking sitting around and leeching off of Yui's dad's internet.
I at least want to say half a year story-wise, because they do have the Christmas episode. But aside from that, you can start the show whenever.
Well, okay, look at Kamen Rider Build. Kamen Rider Build actually takes part, if you look at the timeline, they're only about 3 to 4 months, the whole thing. But it feels like there's so much happening. Ryusoulger might take place over half a season or 6 months. It doesn't feel like it does. It feels like they've been at it for like a fucking long weekend. I'm bashing it now, but I mean, like, we're in the nitty-gritty.
Unfortunately, that just gets chalked up to, like, if you really look at... If you typed out an order of events of everything that happened in Ryusoulger that was reasonably significant, you wouldn't get a very long paragraph.
No. Ryusoulger... You know what the funny thing is I think this is kind of my final draw of the thing. The series was good. It wasn't great. And the things that were good were better than the things that were bad. Like, the suits looked great, the combat was great, the Zord fighting was great, the out-of-suit fighting was great. However, the plot was passable. The character development was passable. The villains were passable. So it's not that there was anything bad, it's that it was either great or passable. There was nothing... If it was good and then passable, it pushes it on. The funny thing is, this is going to make an amazing season of Power Rangers. You know why? Because they get all the best stuff.
Yeah.
They get all of the suit fights, all of the Zord fights, all of the fucking stuff set up, and they can take however much time they want to develop characters.
That's why I'm just afraid of how the Ryusoulger adaptation will handle the villains, how they're far in between, and it's like, are they going to do what they did in Dino Charge and just make them like one giant group?
I think they'd be stupid to not try to fix it. I think they're going to do what they did with Sledge, where they put a completely new villain, and probably they're going to take a couple of maybe Minosaurs that showed up in the thing and make them main characters to flesh it out. And the thing is, they need to come up with a compelling villain. Now, since, of course, that villain won't interact with them in the suits much, they're going to be more interacting with them out of the suits. But that's what Sledge was. Sledge more interacted with them as characters than he did with them in fights, because obviously any fights with Sledge personally had to be shot new. Right. But I mean, like...
But even when Sledge did fight them, it's like he could take them on.
Yeah, but that was all new footage. But the thing is, they realized... And the thing is, like... Ironically, Kyoryuger had the same thing. There were great villains in Kyoryuger, but they didn't have a great lead villain. You don't get their leader. Well,
they talk about him the whole series.
Halfway through the series, you get the bearded guy, and he fits that leadership role. But I mean, like, before that, for the first, like, you know, quarter of the series, there was nothing, and Sledge was what made that good. That's a good series of Power Rangers. But the thing is, Power Rangers, which right now is batting 1,000, like, they've got a good team, like, developing the show, they're smart, because they're going to be going, like, okay, what works in Ryusoulger, and what doesn't? And they are lucky that the things that work in the series are how great the suit fights are, how great the mech fights are. Those are the things they don't have to fucking touch. And the stuff that is weak, which is the out-of-suit characters and the plot, that's the thing they replace anyway.
Yeah.
So literally, they've got the easiest job to make Ryusoulger good. Because they only have to remake the bad parts. Whereas look at series which were really challenging that had not great suit fights. Not great Zords. I would say Go-Onger, for example. The suits, the mechs are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And the suit fights are not that great. So that one, they're like, well, shit. That one, they had their trouble put out for them. And the thing is, like, if you look at Go-Onger, the character stuff was better. So they had to cut out what's good about the show and replace it and basically turn... And that's why which one's that? The
RPM.
RPM.
Yeah.
That one, they literally gutted it and remade it from scratch. It was fucking Mad Max.
Yep.
And they made it awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy got fired halfway through.
Yeah.
But overall...
But he still did his job.
But overall, Ryusoulger is definitely, personally for me, the weakest of the dinosaur-themed seasons. Did I hate it? Absolutely not. Was it... you know what? I think you used the best word. It's passable.
Yeah.
Yep.
It got by...
I'll say it's passable, but I will still maintain that I would call it... I want to say something... I want to say disappointing, but not to that effect, because...
Disappointed gift. Put it in the thing, please, somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like there was so much potential. They like set the spring for it to be so much better, but then just tripped over it.
And then, oh my goodness,
there were absolutely some great parts, and you've definitely opened my eyes to a lot of perspectives that I hadn't considered before.
Let's just pray to God the toy sales, like we see the toy sales.
From what I'm hearing,
and Ryusoulger
the toys were the biggest saving grace. I'm told the toys sold very well.
That's because I bought every Ryusoulger
yeah.
sold.
Well, because it's fucking, you know, the thing is, like, yeah, the dinosaur gimmick, you know, wore down for us watching it, but the thing is, kids will still buy anything with a dinosaur on it.
Yeah.
From what I was seeing on Instagram, because I follow this Vietnamese group and that, like, review stuff, and they showed that the toys, though not as good as like, some of the better things, but I mean, like, the toys did dreadful for Loop and Pat, and Kyuranger did not that great. It's on an upward swing. Meaning that not gangbusters numbers, but like it's up.
It's better than last year's
numbers. And the thing is, so I would say if you look at the numbers, the ratings for the series were actually pretty decent. So I would say that with decent ratings and then decent toy sales, this is considered a like financially successful season.
And people were worried Sentai would be ending.
And the thing is, look at the Kiramijers. Ironically, they're set up for success. Like, now, plot-wise, this followed Loop and Pat, which was a huge departure and a beautiful season. Like, I loved Loop and Pat. I mean, so this comes in, this underperformed. I would say my final rating is it's a good show that didn't live up to its own potential.
That's exactly
7 out of 10, and I'm being generous.
If I had to give it a number, I would probably say 6.
You know what?
Come on, I helped you. Give it a 0.5.
All right, you get a 0.5.
All right, I earned a 0.5 on that.
Yeah. I would have to agree with you, HE. 6.5 sounds like a decent score.
Yeah, that's good. Not great.
The thing is, it's a rating that you have to do what you did and look at it from perspectives that are not obvious.
Yeah, you need to find a way. You need to find a way to love it. It's like Ghost. If you find a way to love Ghost, you'll love it.
Emily, you've been wanting to talk for a while. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I kind of just drifted off into the Twilight Zone there for a bit.
Into the Hellenheim?
Yeah, into the Hellenheim.
It is late, so I guess that should be...
Crayon was great. I don't know why he wasn't the the one infected by Helen instead of Precious.
Which I thought.
Because it's too pure and this guy wrote J-dramas. It would be too obvious.
But I think it would have made a lot more sense for him to have become some sort of giant, like, life beast.
Yeah. Right? Also, real quick on Precious. Precious felt like the villain that the show deserved to have all along.
The one that kind of controlled everyone.
Yeah, Precious felt actually threatening. So where the fuck was he/she the whole show?
She should have come in earlier.
You had to wait for the producers to change over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's. I get, yeah. So I'll give it a little higher. I'll give it a 7. But I just mean this show should have been better.
Yeah.
And I think that retrospect will be kinder to it, because when you look back at the thing is, when you look back at a show, you tend to look back at what you liked about it. And I think that me looking back at this myself, I'm going to remember the cool fights. I'm going to remember the cool Asuna moments. I'm going to remember Bomba. I think that this series is not as bad as people think. I'm not going to defend it. Like, I defended the shit out of Zio. Or Geo, whatever the fuck that's pronounced. Zio.
Future Rider.
Because I think that I had fun all the way through with that show. And I believed it deserved to be, defended. This one, I'm defending it a little, because I'm not going to pretend it doesn't have huge problems. But I mean, if I can get you to change your thing from 6 to 6.5 to think it's a little better than you thought, then I've done my part.
It's a show that if you step back and look at it from other perspectives, you can see why it's good, but at face value, it's missed potential.
And the funny thing is, as going back to what I said before, is we know it missed potential. Its potential. You know who has a second fucking chance to get that potential? Power Rangers.
Rangers, yeah.
I think my prediction in March 2020 is that this is going to be a ballin' season of Power Rangers.
Let's hope so, because we don't want another Ninja Steel.
That's exactly why when they first announced it, I swear on Christ, hand to God, my first thought was, oh cool, maybe they'll make it better.
Yeah, well, because they're not going to make it worse.
I mean, Ninja Steel. Was Ninja Steel good?
No,
it was garbage.
I would watch Ninja again before I watched Ninja Steel.
Was Ninja? I didn't watch, and I watched the first episode with you guys live
of Ninja,
and I kind of dug it, but I've heard that it's not a great series.
I would say it's like a beautiful disaster. It's got problems, but it's such a fucking spectacle. You have to see it.
Yeah.
So, Jikai Radio Sentai Castranger.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like it's been a very long episode.
So
yeah, I know.
Sorry,
it has, but not a bad episode.
2.5 hours. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, so since next week is the debut of Kira Major, we're going to do the same thing we do every year and take our feature topic with our first impressions on the show.
And we may possibly have a sub of episode 0.
Yeah. If we get that in time, we'll squeeze that in.
Yeah. I feel like we'll have time to do 3
No,
episodes.
I mean if we have the sub by the time we record.
Oh, then yeah.
Then we'll put that in.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited. There's things I like about Kira and there's things that I don't.
Same, but I've said most of my opinions so far, but we'll talk about that more next week. In the meantime, thank you all for listening, watching, liking, favoring, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell, and being awesome. Make sure to check out castranger.podbean.com, which is the source of our hijinks. From there, you can find our Facebook page, where I post thumbnails of episodes days before they come out, our Twitter account, our Patreon, where you can pledge to help us make the show better for you, our Discord server, where you can not only chat with all of the cool people here in our Discord server, but listen live to the show whenever we record it, which is usually Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. And with that said, thank you once again, and we will see you next week. And to those who have been with us since the beginning, thank you for joining us for
thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining us for a magical 6 years on Castranger. Here's to another 6, and we will see you in Castranger Season 7.
Also, HeroCast, do we want it this weekend or next weekend to record the live?
Sunday I'm free.
We could do Sunday.
I could do Sunday. I've literally got a session planned.
Sweet.
Cool.
We get to
more
fight.
HeroCast.
Yeah.
We get to fight Hack Rabbit. That's all I'm going to tell you about him.
I was finally here for an anniversary.
You did it.
So was I.
Yeah.
I haven't been on long enough to miss a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think I was actually on. No, I was in one of the anniversaries.
Wait a minute. That means the best thing. I can finally change my caster.